I'm doing it. It's going. It's going. Who knows what will happen? I clicked the button. Who knows what will happen?
Oh,
Something's
and
going
we're
on.
live. Nice.
Oh, sure looks like it. Hello. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? How's the video? How's the sound? I have no idea what I'm doing.
The sound is good. I'm just trying to...
Yeah, I'm not gonna double check
locate the
with other
music.
earphones
Yeah.
because I'll go crazy with the echo. Everything's good so far. Very good.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
music volume's also good. Nice.
So good. First try. Didn't have to touch a thing. Okay. So what are we doing today? We're doing... Well, first of all, Seb's our surprise guest up there.
Oh,
Thanks for
Down
joining
here.
us.
thank you for having me.
We're gonna do Compose Hot Reload today, and the pitch was that we'll work on the KotlinConf app, right? So we are doing a rewrite. I feel like we do that probably every year, like a design refresh for the KotlinConf app. So we're doing the same thing this year as well. I'm one of the people involved in doing that. And as I've been working on that, I've been doing a lot of dogfooding, trying our own, preview technologies. We have nice multi-platform previews in Fleet, which I think we can, if I just get these out of the way, we can actually try that already. So we can look at a component like, I don't know, the Now button, which is written in Compose multi-platform in common code. And then we can run like an Android preview for it, and we'll see two different buttons which are enabled or disabled, right? So we have these kinds of previews, and you can iterate on this and you can change values, and it reloads much the same as in Android Studio. So it's like the same layout lib sort of approach. But we have something that makes it even more productive to work on components, because this preview does have limitations, right? So when we try to polish animations, or if we have already built some part of the app and we've navigated somewhere, it would be a bit annoying to relaunch that every time. So that gets us to Compose Hot Reload, which is this super experimental thing that you might have already heard of, mostly on YouTube. I'm gonna pull that up as well, and maybe try sending it into the chat in a moment.
I can do that for you.
Thank you. So I'll show it very briefly on stream at least. So you can check out this video for some of the technical bits and a brief showcase of how Compose Hot Reload works. And we're going to be using the same thing here today as well. So if you want to try this for yourself, the easiest way to do that is to go to the repo, grab the samples directory, and I don't know if you need to do the publish locally thing. I feel like you probably don't have to do it anymore, depending on how the repos are set up here.
I don't think that's necessary. As far as I know, the latest and greatest state. Yeah.
So this repo is included, so it should be published there. This is a good file to look at though, because we see that what we have to have set up for this is a custom version of the Kotlin multi-platform plugin and of Compose the Compose plugin. So we're doing a lot of compiler hacking here to achieve this. For Compose itself, we can actually have just a normal version.
Compose multi-platform, but yeah.
Oh yes, sorry. So for Compose multi-platform, that's the regular one, and then there is a separate plugin which is for Compose Hot Reload. And we have the same thing set up in this project, which again is the KotlinConf app, which by the way, open source on GitHub. You can go to a separate branch, which is like KotlinConf 2025, and then you can check out the ongoing work there, including already the Hot Reload setup. So we have that plugin included here. And if we check again the version catalog, we can see that we have some crazy Kotlin version used here, which is a custom build of that. And as of today, like I was getting updates to this just a couple hours ago on like how to best set it up. As of today, it's also published under like a JetBrains package Maven repo, so you can grab the dev versions from there. And I don't know, do we need to explain anything else in the introduction?
Not particularly. I mean, one of the things that's kind of nice about the concept of hot reloading is, like you mentioned, I mean, the big thing is interactivity, right? But it also means that if you have like some business logic that's wired in to your app, you could probably also play around with that, right? Like if there's you're not looking at just the preview necessarily. You're not just looking at the visual husk. You're potentially also you can try the actual business logic itself at the same time. Hello to everybody, by the way, who has joined in the chat. It is codenamed Firework. I hope it does not explode.
You'll be, I think you'll be surprised by how much it doesn't explode. That's my experience with this. So I tried it for like 2 hours last week, and that was a week ago, so a lot has happened. This is super early tooling. And even then, a shocking amount of things worked. And again, the build we're on is pretty much from like this morning. So it's moving very fast. And I mean, previously when I was trying this, we didn't even have the custom Kotlin plugin yet. So it was just an additional plugin. Now there's also this custom Kotlin build, which does something to enable this further. So yeah, I mean, let's start seeing
let's see it, right?
In action, right? We're like 5 minutes in. People have hopefully joined by now. And we're gonna start this. So we have this UI components module in the KotlinConf app, which has all of the new components that I've been working on already. And here, just to be able to run a desktop app, which is what hot reload is working with, like it's running a Compose JVM desktop app, and then you can hot reload in there. I've added a quick JVM main source set next to all of our shared UI. And I mean, all it does is it launches a Compose app, has one window. It has this wrapper for development entry point, which does some of the setup magic for hot reload. And in there, you can just call any arbitrary function. Actually, we should try writing just arbitrary compose code in here for a start, so we can have, you know, a button, and then we can have some text on it, and we can import that. And if we just run this main function, we should see what the hot reload setup looks like at the moment. So we'll get a window which says hello on it. And nice. We actually also get another window, which is the dev tooling for this. So here we see the compiler output. We see a bunch of debug information about what's happening. I'm gonna hide this for now because hopefully we won't need to look at it, but we have, you know, some retry buttons and a clean button in here. In case something does break, we can try hitting some of those, but I'm gonna just get this off the screen for now. And I mean, with this hello button, and because we are in Fleet with collab tooling, supposedly you can just start changing the code here. And if you save that, we'll see some output that reruns the code, and it hot reloaded, right?
That's yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's so boring. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So let's try something more interesting. So let's try to like remember some state. So let's do like mutable state of, I don't know, 0 for a start. Make sure we have all the imports. You can see that this window is configured so that it's always on top, which is actually quite useful as we're hopping into the IDE here. I'm gonna make some more imports.
Yep.
And I mean, we saw the console moving a little bit. I only moved the window around, but now it has a click handler. Oh, we don't see the state yet.
See anything though, but yes.
But now if you do that, we can actually see the state. So we have a 0 there. And I mean, if I click the button, it's sure going up. And if you change something else, that state remains
Look at this. Okay.
there. Can you change can you change the on click so that we are counting downwards instead?
Of course. We'll go all the way back down to 0 and beyond.
Yep.
Look at that.
That works. So
Magical.
something quite funny that you could do earlier, again, just last week when I was trying this, is you could duplicate this, have two very similar states, something like this. Did we save the file? Did we break it?
But you just need to have a column.
Oh, they're on top of each other. I just
That's
don't know
right.
compose. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There we go.
Okay, so both of them are zeros. Oh, I wonder when we lost the state of the first one. Let's try to see that in action a bit. So let's go back to just one of these. Let's generate some state, right? And then add another state. Let that reload. We still have our state. And add the second button. And when that happens, we lose the first state.
Interesting.
That's actually a good report already. I feel like that we should preserve. So that's already something interesting we found. Can you do timestamps? I'm sure that other sub who's working on this, who again you can check out on YouTube, link in the chat. You can. I don't know where the sentence was going.
We're gonna report it to him, and he's gonna take a look and bang his head against the keyboard until it's hopefully fixed.
yeah. There we go. So something fun you could do earlier is that as you had some state already, like we have a 10 and a 3 now, you could just swap these two lines.
Oh, look at this. We got an explanation from Andre from the Compose team. who gives us the explanation. It should reset all data in the closest recomposition scope. Otherwise, Compose just breaks.
Makes sense. So
yeah.
So if we swap this around, you can see that we actually lost one of the states, but the other one is retained. So that's also some. Oh, I think I didn't wait for the build there. Oh, okay. So only one of the counters is working now. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna do a clean composition from the dev panel. Sorry. So I did a clean composition that resets everything to 0. And after that, if I start clicking again, then the app is working again. I'm gonna try swapping the lines one more time so that the states are the other way around. Yeah, the second state goes into the first one, and the other one we just lose. And we get some funky things like this, where the button updated, but the states are crisscrossed. So yeah, we have some interesting behavior. What else can we do here? So we have some of these basics working. Another new feature, which is super new, is that this should now be able to detect if we change something within a remember block. So if we change the bytecode in there. So if we get the state somewhere. Oh, sorry, we have it swapped around again. So let's start like clean and then do a clean. Is the build
I set
done?
I set it to 100, so it's not gonna get less than 100.
Yeah. So right now, if we make code changes, so let's go to 111 or something, and then if we make some code changes, like we change a string, for example, then that happens and the state is still retained. And if we change the other thing to like 20, then a reset happens, because again it's in the same scope. But you saw that if we are just changing the strings, then we are not resetting the value of this state. But if we go in here and we change the default value to like 200, then supposedly that's detected, and we get a reload.
Pretty elegant.
That's something new as of like today, basically. Yeah, is there anything else obvious that we should try here for a start?
I don't know. I mean, like the obvious part for me is always like I feel like animations probably really drive home the point that all of this is like interactive. I always forget how to write those, so I'm gonna just ask AI assistant and see if we can get something. Infinite repeating color animation from red to blue, and we'll see. That's a little lot. That's a little lot. Did you accept that one for me?
I did not.
Okay.
That's all you.
That's all me, I guess. I'll steal out. Here's what I'm gonna try doing. I'm gonna steal out this infinite transition, and then I'm just gonna undo this stuff away.
Perfect.
And we'll see if this is vaguely correct.
Yeah, let's fix the imports. Let's not import the swing color. Oops, animate color. That seems pretty plausible. So we can use that on like a text or a button, I suppose.
Sure.
Oh, but button coloring is difficult. Yeah, let's just do the column. That's good.
Just a background. Question is the dev panel provided by the plugin?
Yes.
That's a part of Compose Hot Reload, yeah. The little floaty window that we cannot see.
Yeah, this floaty
I suppose, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, look, it's animating.
I like it.
That's all it took. And then, of course, yeah, I was just gonna say we can start sizing
Party
this.
time.
That will hot reload. Woo!
There we go. Gorgeous. That's very interactive. I feel like now you can really tell it's live.
Wow. Yeah, the ripples didn't sell it, but
and now it's really breathing.
Excellent. Okay.
It's very cool. So I think this works, which I mean honestly, end stream, ship it. I don't know what to say. Like where do we go from here even?
Well, I think from here we just start building something with Compose code and see if we can break it. Like okay, how does it work when changing the screen or window size? Does it retain the state? I mean, window size we can change, and that's easy enough. So, I mean, it's a Compose desktop app that already would retain the state. So that's not affected. And this is only on desktop, so I mean, this is the entire like use case and thing that has to work.
I think it's probably worth mentioning that most likely if we make a change up here about like the remember Windows state, I would assume that this doesn't do anything.
Oh yeah, that's outside of Compose, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, the reason it kind of makes sense conceptually because our like development entry point's kind of like inside this window.
Yes.
Which now makes me wonder what would happen if I were to move this above the window.
I think it's a composable function.
Oh, so is window.
Oh, window is. Well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Probably.
I'd assume one restart would be in order.
Let's try not restart. I mean, let's try not restarting it. Let's see what happens if we move the entry point, right? I mean, we have build successful. If we take a look at the output, but I mean, obviously,
so the Windows state
didn't happen.
Yeah, the Windows state doesn't change, but if we change the values,
that also broke.
Those also don't change anymore.
Let's try clean composition. Well, that resets the animation, but that's all it does. Let's try retry failed. That
I think this is just with. I feel like with the entry point moving, we can just hit it again. See if that's within reason.
Okay, so there's our debug window. There's our very cute gallery window.
Let's move this to make it 400 by 400. Okay.
Seems like the window state does not update. There's a timestamp.
Okay.
Can you note that down?
I certainly can if I make these other values. Those works. Still update just fine. Okay.
Yeah. And we can bump this one, and if we update Right, they're still in the same scope, so if I change this to 100, both of them will reset. Yep. It's pretty predictable.
Did the window size just reset? That felt like the window size just reset as well, though.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. I didn't pay attention.
Can you maybe like clean the composition?
Oh, clean composition makes the window
Hey, look
size
at that.
change. Ah.
Okay.
All right.
So even
Yeah,
that works. But of course, I mean, this is kind of I count this as a little bit of an edge case.
Yeah. So it does work, but it needs a clean composition for the window size at the moment. Of course,
yes,
ideally,
but also, yeah, again, like if you're just trying things out, you just grab the window by the corner and you resize it, and that works perfectly regardless of hot reload because we're just on Compose for desktop.
yeah. If you're
By the way,
just
hello
looking at,
everybody
like,
who's joined.
what happens as you crush it.
Yeah,
you can just
looks
do
gorgeous.
this. Yeah, hello everyone. We have 37 people in here. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining. Okay, so that's the dev panel, which, by the way, ideally you won't need when this is like fully stable and mature, right? Like you ideally don't want to, just like with your actual project, you don't want to run the clean task ever, because of course compilation and incremental compilation and invalidation always works. So you never need to actually clean your project. I think it's going to be a same sort of thing here. Like eventually this will be packaged into something where these buttons will be hidden away and you don't generally need to know about them. At least I think that's the hope.
I could see some scenarios where when I'm playing around with things and I already have a bunch of state where it might still make sense to have just a clean button. Still faster than restarting, but
sure is. So, I didn't actually have to close this. I keep forgetting.
Force a habit.
That's something that does happen. So instead of this demo, I mean, okay, let's just reopen it, and then swap it out real time. So instead of this beautiful thing that we've implemented so far,
it's gorgeous. I never want to be rid of it.
Speaking of that, let's delete this code.
No.
And put in this gallery app composable. And that hot reloads. So obviously we didn't have to close that and start it again because we can just put arbitrary code in there. So let's maybe introduce what we want to do with the the KotlinConf app. So here I have the Figma design for the updated KotlinConf app, which is what we're trying to build ultimately. You know, it's a Figma design. We have the colors, we have these beautiful screens for various sizes and shapes and all that. And what I focused on so far is, of course, we start from the design system and we've been building some of these components. So we have a button, we have a title, we have a header, we have tags and switchers and stuff like that. And if we take a look here in the project again, you can see that some of these have already been implemented. We're also in a branch where more of them exist than on the actual merged version of the branch. It is the app that you're going to be able to use in 6 months in Copenhagen. Yes. And so, well, for some reason, this says, "Are you really am a label?" I swear. Do you know anything about that? Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure if you've noticed. You might have been focused on your explanation, but I've just been hot reloading for the last like 2 minutes with just different messages. It's too easy.
The silence.
It's just so magical. I'll turn it back to the original.
Thank you.
That just takes a second, but like it's just too good.
Yeah. So again, the setup we have here is that we have the normal previews, which if I want to, I can also run as an actual preview. Actually, we can drag race these. So we can. I'm gonna do a build and refresh so that the preview is fully up to date.
Okay.
We're gonna do a bit of Gradle building for this module. We're gonna do a bit of Gradle building, and now it's green. So if you change something now, we'll see if layout lib or hot reload is faster. Well,
Okay.
Hot reload for now. Can you change another thing?
Sure.
It's close.
Okay. Well,
It's close.
and hovering over that label gives you ooh.
Yeah, these are hooked up with click listeners, so of course we can also toggle it.
That's pretty gorgeous. I love it.
I do feel like something's actually wrong here in that I can toggle this one, but not the second one. You're already doing a thing.
Sorry.
The launch effect, so we'll wait for that
I'm
first.
I'm immediately getting distracted. My bad.
No, do your thing. Also, I'll close this preview because we probably won't need it. Let's see what you're going.
I cannot seem to invoke the import. Could you just do that real quick for me?
Oh yeah, sure. Need the launched effect and the delay. Yep. It hot reload. Yep. Let's.
Look at that! Hey.
Again, the launched effect is going.
We'll change the
let's see
delay
if we
to
can
a second.
slow it down.
We can.
That definitely updated. Yep.
That's pretty nifty. Put it to 2 seconds so that it's not quite as annoying.
Okay.
It's beautiful animation.
So the thing I wanted to fix was
sorry.
that clicking the second label. So the first label I can also click manually in addition to it blinking by default. Oh, I can actually get them out of sync. That's very funny.
Nice. It's like a railroad crossing.
Yeah. So this second label, if I click it, is not toggling. Like, is there a bug in the code here? Maybe? Because I'm not seeing it. It's using state 2. I mean, it's the same code as this one. Feels like that should be working. Right?
I think so.
Okay,
unless
unless it's disabled. But
well, I don't know how car tag is implemented with the does the button just always set it to on select, not selected? Yeah, no, this seems correct.
No, it always inverts the current selected state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that seems correct.
Yeah,
right?
But if I click the second one, nothing happens. Like it's not inverting. Of course. Something we can do here is open the outputs. Save this file. We can go to we can scroll all the way down here. And then if I click the first thing, we can see that we are clicking it. So we can just inject this print statement. Of course, obviously this is better than actually debugging something. And then the second thing, look, the second thing also toggles correctly now. So that was probably a hot reload bug, where
that may have been a hot reload bug,
where like this, like some lambda somewhere wasn't loaded yet. Of course, again, this entire contents inside the application didn't exist when we first ran this. Like we started from a state where our window contained something completely different, and then we added these composables. So probably some of it didn't load correctly. Somehow.
Got it now.
Yeah. Has this been tested on derived state so that the state you derive from respectfully updates your calculation in the derived block? I mean, yeah.
Derive the inverse of state 2. Let's see. Oh, well, that's a little. We'll okay. So it was a little too lazy here. Sure. Well, derived equals derived state of state 1, but not. And I guess we can do
and
that
then
with a by.
And then we can do something like this.
Yep.
Like the second label can have. I mean, let's name these. Get regular and inverted, and then if I toggle regular, woohoo! I think we found the first firework moment.
Okay. First firework
can you
moment.
Take a note
Of
with the
course.
timestamp. Yep. Okay, so question is, what happens after we manage to throw an exception like this? I'm gonna click OK. Oh, it just crashed the app. All right. That's fine. Let's run it again and see what happens. Maybe derived state off is a good test case. So
Okay.
we have this running, and your launched effect is changing things.
But what if my derived state instead was just the same state, though?
That also works.
Okay.
So what if we inject a new derived state? What if we have derived state 2, and we also use derived 2 down here? That also works.
Okay.
Interesting. So it doesn't break for every derived state of usage. We just got it into some kind of weird state where it did. Interesting.
But hey, so this is cool though. I mean, regardless of whether there's like a small hitch here or there, for all of these changes, typically, right, if we wanted to see this, we would have had to rerun the entire application from scratch and like just change everything again. This way, we're back to just making a small change and waiting like 2 seconds. That's a pretty big change in quality of life.
And if I just, git reset this file, we're back to our normal preview. And clicking still works. Very good.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, maybe to very briefly explain why we have 2 copies of everything here. So we have this preview helper function in the project, which just puts up a column, and then it has a dark theme false and then a dark theme true version of whatever the preview content is. And it also gives it a bit of padding so that it doesn't look like garbage. But of course, we can see what would happen if we didn't have the padding. We can just put all of these numbers to 0. And... Oh. Did we... The spacing doesn't update.
Are you sure?
Yeah, this is the spaced by value between each value of the content. 20. Okay, I'm gonna do clean composition. That moves the window, but now we can see that it updated because it's larger. So if I change this to 0, that 0 value doesn't update. And if I do clean composition, again, it jumps, and now it updated. So there's a bug.
Noted.
Thank you. I'm gonna go back to the normal padding. We can see that the regular padding gets applied. For some reason, it's spaced by specifically that doesn't work if we change it. Very interesting. I'm gonna clean again, and then of course we get the spacing between the components. So while I love hot reload as a feature, and with the speed of Compose Desktop, it's gonna be insanely fast. Yeah, it already is, right? I still really love previews. Yeah, I mean, in previews, you can still set up a lot of more complex things. So like testing multiple different screen sizes or themes at the same time. Of course, that's what we're doing here with this gallery approach, where we have some composable function infrastructure to just generate different versions. And actually, we can do the same thing for density as well, and for other values, just completely manually if we want to. Like if we look at the code here, I'm just gonna close some of these things. You can already see that to see these components better, I already have density set to 2f, so that we're all like zoomed in. And if we want to, pixel peep, we can set this to 6x. That will reload, and then we have huge labels, and we can check corner radiuses and all of those things. And I mean, well,
That seems like the moment where someone should make the window slightly wider.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow. So
I'm
many
gonna
details.
go with, let's try like 3f. That's probably good enough for pixel peeping here. yeah, so that's our gallery setup in the app, and yeah, so yeah, we could write some infrastructure that shows different densities and just width constraint things. You know, like we could add more modifiers to this column and constrain it that way and so on. I see you already have an idea. Are we gonna do a slider?
Yeah.
I wanted to build it at some point. Let's do a slider.
I have a hard time not doing it now that you've been like talking about it.
Excellent. Okay, that's a good first contribution for you. I'll leave you to code that, and in the meantime,
thank you.
We're gonna look at some of the components we can build. So the top menu button is already something that exists here. So that's like the bookmark button. The now button we've also seen. That's going to be the thing that allows you to scroll down in the schedule. We have the main header, which is built of multiple smaller components. That's a candidate for what we could build here. Tags we already have implemented. Switcher is actually a great example of something that's already implemented, because if we scroll down to the switcher, you can see that I can, because this is just a running compose application, I can click around in the switcher, and of course it can actually make changes to its state. And, you know, if I want to test it with other items, I can hot reload it, and as soon as other files are also in a compilable state...
Sorry. Give me a second, please.
No worries.
I'm already stressing.
So as long as everything else compiles, of course we get a hot reload of that. And we can see that, for example, if the switcher is space constrained width-wise, which it is because I have that set up with a modifier, then it breaks into 2 lines, and then we could start thinking about how to handle that case correctly design-wise. Or, of course, we can just hope that we have enough space available, and I can change that width to something more. And if we have a compilable state...
It's not me. Don't look at me.
500. Interesting. So let's bring up the ROM panel and make a change so that we can see if something's happening. Oh, look, an exception.
I changed the type of a state from density to float.
Okay, I'm gonna try to clean composition. That worked. And the width update is here. And if I change the width again, that updates as well. Okay, so it was that you changed the type of something and it wasn't reassignable anymore.
Yeah, I changed something from
clean here.
Yeah, I changed something from density to float.
Okay, makes sense.
Do the scrolly bit. Use the slider.
Okay, so you can't actually drag it because it's like...
Oh, it probably also changes its own density.
Yes. So if you can put that outside of the density changes.
That seems like a pretty smart move.
Like let's put a column around the entire thing, right?
I mean, I intentionally didn't do it so that it like stays like floats on top. But look, sure. Hey!
Whoa!
Look at that.
Some funny things happen as it happens quickly, but obviously all of the stable states are excellent. So now we have a zoom implementation, which doesn't just zoom in, but it actually goes through the density. And this is like 5 lines of compose code, maybe 3.
It's 1, 2, 3. It's 3 lines.
Wow. Okay then. So we have the zoomy thing. That's very cool.
That's cool.
Let me check chat real quick. Can you guys drop us a hint about the non-fleet IDE just for KMP and CMP? I don't think we have any additional info.
It's all that's out there. That's the current state.
Yep. Would this work in a multi-module project? Very good question. For example, your UI is in a root package, but you've changed a component from another package that's included in root. Okay, so there's a couple ways we could test this, and I actually wanted to get to this sometime, so that's a very good reminder. So we have a shared module in this project, which contained the old UI implementation initially, and it also contains some of the like storage bits and the business logic of the app. And that's also configured with Compose and everything. So in theory, we could set up the same plugin there and see if we can change a UI component in the other module and if that propagates. So for that, I'm just going to grab the hot reload plugin, which I think is the single line that we have to move from here to there, right?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, because all your plugins, they all come from just your
from the
your
catalog,
library catalog. Yeah, exactly.
And Compose is already applied here, so we just add the hot reload plugin to another module.
Cool.
And then again, we want this to be in like JVM main, and it's exactly there. And we just need the developer something entry point. Of course, we need to import Gradle so that we get the new dependency. What is Gradle import doing?
Doing hard work. Potentially.
What is Gradle import doing? Do we have the dependency?
Is it because the hot reload also has a Gradle daemon running?
Yeah, we might have crisscrossed our
wires.
Okay, let's try killing things by just stopping smart mode, and then letting it start on its own. I might have to okay, this is something that we had to do last week when we were trying hot reload. I saw other Seb for everyone watching, who actually builds this. I saw him just manually...
What'd you say actually?
Well, in that
but yeah,
we don't build this. He does.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. Sorry.
I'm still not getting good completion here. So what is it called? It's called development entry point. Is that... Well, it's yellow. I don't know how that's broken. I am confused about that. So we added compose hot reload. Is there... So there's no dependency to add. I know that because we didn't need that. I assume we already have compose current OS because we have a JVM app in there. Oh, something that we will need is a logger. At least in the previous version, we did need that. So I know that I added logback classic so that it doesn't crash. Maybe that's been fixed since like 2 days ago. That could easily be the case, but just to be sure, I'll add that to the dependencies. Yeah, the entry point is not here. Interesting.
The view model loving Seb and his nemesis, the anti-view model Seb.
That's also how we distinguish them. Yeah, obviously. Okay, we're doing a bunch of... there we go. Was it the logger? I think something was just stuck in indexing, but now enough indexing happened that we have the entry point. There we go.
We love ourselves some good indexing.
So now this app is gonna look something like this. So it's just gonna have a placeholder text in it. And I mean, I guess we can you run that for me, please? Can you?
Sure.
Like, we're gonna do the collaboration magic where we run the shared app as a JVM thing. And the only thing that will break the magic is that it's gonna pop up on another display, and I'll have to move it. Yeah, it did start successfully. So here is our app. Here's the tooling window for it. So that all works. Let me try to arrange this a bit. Oh wait, it's not always on top. Where did it go? Huh. One of the windows isn't always on top. The other one is. That's unexpected. That's also annoying.
Sorry,
Okay,
my bad. I briefly broke the build.
Okay, so I'll just follow you and keep the focus on this window, because apparently I can't touch the code without making the window go away.
Oh, we can change that. That's not a problem. We could just pass always on top to the window.
Oh, that was just not set. Okay, I thought I thought the development entry point did some magic to set that.
No, so the compose application recompiler always stays on top regardless. This is something you could just set yourself.
This works real time. Look, right now. Oh wait, that's also always on top. So
yeah.
Right now, if I click into Fleet, both of these windows stay here. If you change that to false,
I'm gonna change that to false.
It does its thing. It's supposedly done. Oh, actually, you can already see that this can't come to the foreground because this is always on top. And if I click into Fleet, the window disappears. So always on top also updates in real time. Of course,
isn't
it
that
does.
Wonderful?
Oh, it comes back as well. Okay.
It all fits together.
Wow. Okay, that's very cool. So what we were gonna try is that we have this module where we can, of course, well, this is a box. So where, of course, we can write a bunch of code, and this should hot reload as we've been seeing so far, and it does. So that's all good. The question is, what if we change something in the other module that we depend on? And we actually are using styled text from over there, so we can just change that. We can, for example, let's just override this. Okay, do the color. Do the color.
I'm doing the color.
Huh.
And just like that, it's green.
Look, dependencies
cross module boundaries. Cross module magenta-ness. I hope. Well, never mind.
Something got cached, I guess. Also, this is a good tricky situation because it isn't a lambda, because basic text doesn't take a color, it takes a color producer specifically. So I bet that's why we got stuck.
What if you? Okay, yeah.
This updates
that certainly makes it white again. Okay.
So you can change it to blue.
You can change the number again.
Oh, that looks awful. Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's my bad. That looks better.
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine. AI assistant is kind of acting like intrusive thoughts here for me, where it's like you do dot repeat and it's like, what about 1,000?
Well, what about repeat 1,000? I mean, we can just try it, right? That's the
nice.
That's the point. That's the entire point. Okay, let's go back to app. I mean, we could work here. Oh, this reminds me. Something else that's interesting to try is a classic preview problem of what happens if you need to load new classes, right? Like, what if new actual like class files and classes exist in your app? Like, that's something that could break it. That could break it.
I mean, that will could have broken it in the future.
Sure. So we can create a new person class, for example, and then we can have this person called.
Do I type Miguel? I don't know.
Miguel.
Yeah.
And we can say hello person.name. And if we save that, it just works.
That works.
So we can actually create a new class and it gets loaded into the thing and it just keeps going. How old is Miguel? Oh, default value 20. Okay. Let's see if that works. So let's do age, person.age. It's reloading. Age 20. What if you change the default value? Is the instance updated? Yes.
Yes.
What if it's remembered?
Well, yeah.
Because maybe the composition is just rerunning anyway, right?
100.
seems to work fine.
Okay, so now it's sticking around. Can you use the panel to change the to rerun the composition?
Yeah, I can do clean composition. Now we have 200.
Okay. Yeah,
Can
so
you
now it
change
gets
the
reinstantiated.
number now?
We'll put it back to 100. That doesn't change anything. That's kind of expected.
Okay. Yeah.
And now now for the magnum opus, we delete this and we delete it at the bottom.
Sorry. Let's save the file now in the broken state. Let's see what happens first. Like if it just doesn't compile. So we have compilation error and everything, but of course the app stays running, which is good.
Okay. And now we remove this bit, which
it does some building again, and it works again. Yep. Interesting thing to try. What if it's a data class?
At that point, why even call like person.name? Just call person. There we go.
Still works. Okay, I mean at this point, what if it's a value class? I think that breaks. Or
you
does
think
it?
so?
Build successful.
Seems fine to me.
Are we... Miguel! Exclamation point.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty okay. I mean, yeah. What
Again,
else is there to say besides okay?
Again, I just want to emphasize that this is extremely early tooling. This is a very hacky version of this at this point. And we're back to our placeholder. Compose Desktop is very, very fast to build and deploy. Yeah. This hot reload mechanism makes it extremely fast. Okay.
It's very impressive.
Let's build something. I wanna walk away. You know what I did?
I don't.
I closed the app again out of habit.
Classic.
Because it's just too difficult to remember that you don't need to keep restarting it anymore.
How it goes.
I guess we also want to launch a separate gallery. So actually this time that's okay. I'll try to leave this output open a bit so that we can see when it's recompiling. We'll open the gallery. We'll zoom it in a bit. We'll put the dev tooling down here or something. And then we should find something to... We should find something to work on. I just need to grab the design again. Did you see any component that you're particularly interested in building?
I'm really like it's like I'm supposed to be focused because I can't do the imports right now. So we have, for example, dealer's choice, I'd say.
We have this main header, which has, you know, an icon and some other icons. Does it have two different states? Let me get this out of the way a bit. So this is main header. Oh, this is a search version. Can we take a look at, can we find maybe a search thing? Yep. Right, so it should transform into an input field. So that's an interesting component to build. I don't know if it's maybe a slightly too complex for getting through it now. Oh, actually, let me just have people look at this day header implementation. That's something I wanted to consult the stream on. Okay. This is the component that we're supposed to have, and if you look at the preview, that's actually one of the the slider slightly breaks the... Okay, so that's actually one of the things that is already implemented. But for this layout where the number is centered and then there's a piece of text above it, I wonder if anyone has ideas on how you would put that together in Compose. Actually, do you have ideas of how you would do this? Like centering the number and then putting something above it? Because it's kind of interesting.
Can you show me the reference image again?
I mean, it's the same.
This is always the good part about already having a designer who already made the design system, because I'm looking at this and my first initial thought was like, should the like combined block of the date of the month and the thing should that be centered? But no, I guess we're centering the big number. That is interesting. That is very curious. Because obviously the other solution is pretty easy. You just wrap both of those in a column and then you just make that, like, you just center that vertically.
Exactly.
But then...
And you have the different arrangements, so you can pack them to the center. That's one of the like values you can use for a column. Yeah.
Yeah. So this seems a little trickier.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you what I've done.
Okay.
Which I'm not proud of, but obviously it works really well. So we can go into this, which is the day header. And the day header is implemented like this.
So we just gotta... Hold on. We got a row that's got a little bit of padding. Then we do a horizontal spacing. This all seems fine. Then for vertical arrangement, we do a minus 10 dp.
All right, we can remove that for the moment, so we can
okay.
hot reload without that, and it just looks like this.
Oh, so that just pushes it.
It's just too far apart. So the negative DP arrangement is just to pack things tighter in that column. But the interesting...
Okay.
Oh wait, adding that back in didn't work. Timestamp. Node.
Timestamp.
So removing this worked, and it reloaded correctly. But if I add it back in, it doesn't reload correctly, and I have to do clean composition. And then if I move it back from where it jumped, then again things are packed tightly. Yeah, so the solution for centering was, I have this piece of text, which is the thing on the top, the month. Then I have the thing in the middle, which is the big number. And then I've just spaced it out equally with this.
Oh, that's clever though. I like that.
Because if the text size changes...
Yeah.
You know, and we can actually do that, right? Like we can navigate into the typography, which, by the way, we have a custom theme set up for the entire app here, right? Which is the exact same kind of theming, composition, local setup as with Material theme, but we're not using Material in the app directly. We technically have it as an implementation detail of the UI components if we need to pull in something from there, like a ripple effect, which is easy to steal from Material. But otherwise, we're not going to have a Material theme applied in the actual app module and like app implementation. We're just going to apply our own theme wrapper with values. So we have our own typography and we have our own colors all provided like through the composition. Yeah. And again, if the text size changes, so maybe we go to 19, then you can see that, you know, it reloads, that text on the top of the number gets bigger, but the spacing remains the same because that text is also there on the bottom. It's just transparent and an empty string.
I mean, hey, if it's silly and it works, it ain't silly. Actually, we got a fun comment here, which is developers with multiple screens are going to be banging their head on the desk each time for a clean composition. I guess because there's a reference to the window jumping. I feel like that's something that can be addressed pretty easily, though.
That should be quite easy. For what it's worth, if I just keep hitting clean composition, it keeps landing on the same display that I'm showing here. So this is going to be Inside Baseball here. So what you're looking at on the stream is one corner of one of my screens. And so it really just jump to a different location within the same screen. And I think even that jumping should be very easy to stop.
I was about to say, I mean, that would be the nerd snipe of the century, but this is it's very easy to just listen to the current location of the window, write that to a file, and like upon like a recomposition, just reload. Well, it's you just save it, right, and then you just restore it. I would assume, and I already made a note for this, I would assume that the Compose Hot Reload plugin will be able to take care of that for you. It doesn't seem like a particularly particularly difficult state to restore.
I think that's a very fair assumption. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one component. Tangent.
Also, just as a little note here. Okay. I do want to try this now. Just first, don't worry. I'm not sending you into into like purgatory here, but I do just have a window placement. So I guess I could just do window placement dot full screen and see if that just makes
scary value. so that doesn't update yet, but if I clean composition,
yeah,
I have no idea what you're seeing.
Just a blank screen.
Oh, I can see that now. Yep. I mean, it's full screen on. I can't show you.
I apologize.
It covered up everything, but it works. I mean, full screening did full screen it, and we're back. Okay.
Was that me or was that you?
Which part?
The we're back part.
Sorry, it was me. It was me closing the full screen.
Okay.
Do you want to try if you can close it?
No, I think it's not going to update. But that's okay. What I just wanted to do. Okay, wait. There's placement and there's position. Okay, so what I actually want to do is grab myself a window position, and I can probably dial this into like 500 dp, 500 dp.
Yeah, so that didn't. Okay, so now if I clean composition, does it go there? Oh. Okay, so that position is on an entirely other screen. Like, way to the side. Please don't make it move with the launched effect.
No, I just wanted
Please don't make the window run around my screen.
That's not what I had intended.
Wait.
I just wanted to read the location from the
Wait. We can find this. So I did. So for those of you who have a problem with the toolbox window positioning itself,
we're losing them. Just kidding.
I did some hacking around with the toolbox code base, which is also a Compose desktop application, where I tried fixing some of the behaviors of which screen it opens on and at which coordinates, which means I can actually pull up my paper notes, which have the details of all my screens and where they're positioned. So supposedly, if you put something to like minus 3000 and minus 1400, that should be like pretty much where we are editing here. It's like minus 1400. And this is, so there are two coordinate systems in the Toolbox app because macOS APIs and then JVM Swing APIs have different coordinate systems, but I think this should work. So now if we clean composition, it jumps there. That's the coordinate that I've guessed. There you go.
Hey, okay.
So if we wanted to live here instead, we can just do minus, I don't know, 2400. And then it reloads, clean composition.
But yeah. Nice, look at that.
There, we've assigned it a location.
Yeah, so just by doing that, we can now avoid any further head banging on desk when we do a clean composition. Nice.
Yeah, and my work on positioning and knowing my exact screen coordinates paid off, so that's good.
Great.
Okay. So building something useful, right?
Sure.
So
I feel like this was useful.
This was useful. So we have the main header, a bit complicated, has an input field. interesting endeavor that we can get lost in. Another thing we have is a lot of Kodi icons, but that's just like importing a Kodi icon, so I don't think that's worth doing. Service event is actually quite an interesting component, but we already have that, unfortunately. So if we scroll down here, we can see these stretchy service events, like breakfast and lunch and dinner, which is, you know, the important bits of any conference, especially KotlinConf. Gotta get fed between your conversations about Kotlin.
Yep.
Oh, did we plug KotlinConf itself yet?
I'm not sure. I don't think we have, but I think we should.
For those of you who have managed to miss this so far, KotlinConf is happening again next year. It's gonna be in May. It's gonna be in Copenhagen again. We're gonna have a lot of speakers, a lot of sessions, and more attendees than ever before. We'll also
workshops too.
We'll also have a lot of workshops. If you're someone who speaks at conferences, if you have an interesting Kotlin story to tell, we have a call for speakers open. There's 10 more days left, I think. Do we have an exact timer? I thought it has like a countdown or something.
10 days left.
Anyway, we have 10 days left, and who knows how many hours. So if you have been procrastinating on submitting something to KotlinConf, this is the time to do it. Wait, you've linked KotlinConf.org into the chat.
I sure have.
Is that?
Is it .com? Both of them are the same.
It redirects. Okay. I'm like, is there another one as well? So call for speakers is open. Don't forget that. Tickets are also on sale. Don't forget to grab your ticket before it sells out. It usually does. And where were we going? Workshops. We also have workshops, including with both of us. Well, separately with both of us. So you have to kind of choose, which is awkward. But if you want to learn about coroutines, then Seb and Seva are doing a coroutines workshop at KotlinConf. Speaking of KMP things, we're going to have a great KMP Advanced Techniques workshop. We'll have some backend stuff, web development with Ktor. We'll have a Compose multi-platform workshop, which is what you've tuned in for now. So maybe you want to learn about Compose multi-platform some more.
And look, that's you.
Oh yeah, that's actually me, which means I'll have to put that workshop together. I feel like I should get started on that. Again, until next May. This will exist, I promise. Then we have some functional Kotlin. Always a fun niche. And we have more backend stuff with Spring Boot. And we have a whole workshop on data stuff, because a lot of interesting data-related Kotlin things have been happening with like notebooks and all of that. And actually, if you want to hear more about that, I'm pretty sure we can squeeze some of that into like Advent of Code this year, hopefully.
Maybe.
If
that sounds like something that would happen.
For Advent of Code, maybe?
That sounds like something that's gonna happen.
Okay. So KotlinConf is the thing. I don't know where we pivoted into the pitch here.
Yeah.
What else
anyway,
do we have?
make sure you submit your talks before the deadline, please.
Yes, please do. We have to sort them out, and it's gonna take a long time. So if we also have late submissions, it gets even worse. So we have main navigation, which we could build. This is a bunch of buttons which are stateful. This is plausible. This is basically the same idea as this switcher, right?
I feel like we could do that.
That feels like it's pretty easy, except we don't have the icons imported yet. Or I'm not sure if we do. Let's check quickly. Then let's validate if we can do this. So we have a bunch of drawables. What do we need here exactly? We need info, clock, team, and location. Clock, info, location, okay, we actually have those imported.
We got them all.
We can implement the navigation stuff. That's one idea. Something else that is also very exciting is the filtering by tags. I think.
Whoa! I see a flow row.
Yes, exactly. Right. Nice responsive stuff. And we already have some of these pieces. So these tags are separate components. We already have that. I guess the rest of it we would have to draw, but I think this is like very good UI practice. Like it has some bits of pieces of text. It has, you know, like a little colorful circle, stuff like that. It has a background, some rounded corners, fun stuff like that. And then, I mean, if we go down here to the bottom, we have a basic button implementation, which actually we're lacking so far. So we could just build the button. That's a quick one. We have a settings item, which is interesting because we could try reusing the material one and styling it into this.
I say we warm up with a button, and then maybe we graduate to a toggle, because that's also a standalone component.
Well, let's do a button then.
Button seems pretty reasonable.
That's a very good start. So because I've done some of this before here with the other with the other components, I'll create the button KT file that we can work in, and then we just I guess this has a component and a preview in it, which we just copied. So I'll just rename those to be button, and we can actually do a button shape for it as well, because can I do this side by side here? I'm gonna try arranging this so that we can actually see things at the same time. Whoa, excellent.
Bet you wish you could just set always on top true on your Chrome, huh?
Yeah. So this is the button we're building. I think we can. Oh, and of course we want to start previewing it. So we already have the button preview function. So I'll just add that to the gallery because we're focusing on this one. We'll just put the button preview up here. That will hot reload.
Are you compiling yet? You're not, because there's a button shape that doesn't exist here. So let's also rename this to be button shape.
Oh, it just doesn't compile. That would do it. Ah, there it is.
There we go.
Okay. And
it's a weird looking button.
Zoom in. Well, so far
the slider's already coming in clutch. I love it.
Yeah.
The 3 lines of code.
Does the slider keep its state across? I feel like changing this padding is not doing its thing. Am I in the right file? I'm in button.kt. Of course, I didn't change the preview. The preview was using the different component. Okay.
Classic.
That's what happens when you copy paste. Don't copy paste. Okay. I mean, so this preview works. The button has 2 states. One of them is, well, what are they called? They're called primary and secondary styles. So maybe we make that a Boolean variable. Like primary and then like default it to false.
Sure.
And then based on that, it's actually going to have a different text color and background color. So good that we stole all of this. So like if primary, then we'll fill that out with the correct ones. And then on click, well, first of all, we don't need to pass a Boolean back there. And then we're just going to do on click like this. Oops, like this. Of course, we can just pass that in directly. I don't know what I'm doing. I wonder if we're still hot reloading because we didn't make any visual changes.
Got a little bit of extra state down here, like probably want to have some sort of
I broke it again.
Only.
I swapped the parameters around to maintain good coding conventions with Compose. Actually, let me explain that. So this parameter used to be a required parameter, and it was like up here in the parameter list. But Compose design guidelines say that you should have the modifier as the first optional parameter. So if we have another optional parameter, it must go after the modifier. So we've just moved that Boolean down like that. So now we have label on click.
Oh. You just never mind.
And then modifier. I guess we need to test both types. So we can do primary true for one button, and then for the other one it can be primary false. And actually we don't need to have state for it. Yeah. So these are not looking like the button yet, but we do have this button shape here, which I'm covering up here, but obviously we want this to be like 50% rounded, or you can just do that.
I tried. I'm not seeing a lot of success on this one. Okay.
I'm gonna do.
What would be a better number?
So is it not hot reloading, or is that a bad value? I don't know which one is happening. Let's change the label. Okay, that's hot reloading. 0 DP corners. I think the button shape is not hot reloading.
Okay.
Clean composition? No. Or it's not being used. No, it is being used. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna stop the app and start it so that we can see what the correct state looks like.
Yep.
Let's wait a minute with changes.
Yeah, that looks better.
Okay, so that's a timestamp. That's a note for something that
already
didn't update.
done.
Excellent. So we're approaching this again. We're stealing an existing implementation, so we're kind of just working our way from that to here. Can we change the? So if we go to the gallery, we have the slider there. I want a bit more zoom, so let's allow it to go up to 4F, and that works like this. That's so convenient. So back to the button. So we need to customize actually 3 things as the state changes, right? So it has a text color, a background color, and it has a stroke around the entire thing. So with the secondary style, it has a one pixel stroke, and with the other one, it doesn't. So we can do another animated color, and this can be the stroke color, and we can add that here.
Border?
Oh, border, right. Border with 1 DP. Color is, well, in that case, this should be border color. Save. Now it has a thing. Now I just didn't order the modifier correctly. Nope. Oh, it has a shape, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah. So this should be in button shape. That looks good. Okay, now let's put in the actual values. So if it's a primary button, it should have a primary background. Otherwise, it should have, well, no background, I suppose. So like color transparent, otherwise primary. That's good. We can hot reload, and that will happen. The stroke color is transparent if it's a primary one, because it just doesn't have one. So if primary, then stroke is transparent. Otherwise, it's stroke color half, which I don't have in my theme.
Is that just, can you just do a copy with transparency like 0.5? Or would you like to have a proper...
No, these should be in here, so we might need to update the theme to match things.
Gotcha.
Let's try looking up what this color is, like if it matches something. Like this is 40% black, I think. Stroke color half. There might have been a design change that I didn't sync yet. Yeah, so like 1919 1C, that's 40% black. And then where's the button? Just down here. stroke color half. And if we look at it in dark mode, stroke color half, which is 50% white in dark mode, 50% white. Yeah, we just don't have this. I'll just edit manually to do check design, but we'll just create it. So it's gonna be stroke half, which is white 50, and I need to import that here. And I said black 40%, right? 1990, yeah. So stroke half. Whoops. The other one here. So stroke half is gonna be black 40, and then we need to have this actual property there. Okay, hot reload seems to be going. Can we use stroke half now? Yes, except it doesn't show anything. Why?
Because it's white? Or is that white 50 supposed to be gray?
Oh, did I mix up the... No, so when it's light colors, it's black 40. Which is 40% black, and when it's dark colors, it's white 50. So maybe that's a timestamp. I'm gonna rerun the app. So maybe this new value that we've added to a thing that we're then fetching. Yep, now it works. So we added a new value to the colors object, which is being provided through the team with the composition local. And that value wasn't coming across correctly, but now we have it.
I wonder if a clean would have been enough potentially. But yes.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna add another one because it's just a lot of fiddling. But yeah, potentially yes. Okay. So we have. Do we have all of the colors right? With this. Oh, I guess we didn't check the text color yet. That's something we copy pasted. So that should be primary text inverted if it's a primary, and it should be primary text if it's not a... Okay, yeah. So if it's not a primary button, if it's a secondary button, the text style is called primary text. Light mode looks good. Dark mode looks good.
By the way, there's some love for the Codys in the background, which are both just hanging out, looming.
Oh yay! Excellent. I accidentally dragged on OBS, and I think I made you disappear.
I don't know if I'm still audible. Who knows?
I'm sure you are, but I don't.
Oh, great! That allows me to grab a new glass of water. I'll return after the break. Oh, I'm back. Ooh.
Yep, I just need to crop you down again.
You know what? I don't care. I'm grabbing the glass of water anyway.
You do that. We're gonna have the chat on stream here for a second. Yeah, something like that. Yep, that's my bad. Sorry, Fox. Managed to misclick a window there. But now it looks fine. Now we recovered it. I'll also hydrate. That's a good reminder. Okay, so we have the colors down, I'm pretty sure. What we're missing is for this button to be just absolutely huge. Like it's supposed to be... So it has some padding, it has a gap around it, which we don't care about. It has a width and a height. So I think what we need to do is always have it be at least 56 dps in height. Let's start with that. So that's the minimum 56 dps. I mean, that just looks correct. I'm going to scale it back a bit now that we've blown it up. That looks like our design. Oh, we have to check the text size as well. So the text is supposed to be text 1, which is one of our styles that's already in the project. So if I do text 1, it indeed becomes larger. We have some horizontal padding on the text. We can check if we're supposed to have that. So it's supposed to be 32 dps right and left. So 32 degrees of padding next to our text, like that. Do we have any other hard-coded values? Yeah, 1 dp for that. The shape is correct. Yeah, no, I think this is done. I mean, if we just make these say button, and then of course hot reload it, then, I mean, it says button. I think that's a button.
Are we done yet?
I think we are. I fixed the text size and I've added a minimum height to the entire thing, and I mean,
what about the font weight?
Font weight. That should be correct. So this is 400 text 1 style, and if we go to what text 1 is, if we find text 1, it's font family. I guess it doesn't have a weight specified, but that must be because the default weight is correct.
I mean, you can change it to 400, see what happens.
Font weight dot normal. Is normal 400? Save.
It is.
Nothing happens. Bold. I mean, it's working.
Okay, yeah, it's not that, so okay. Cool, great, wonderful.
It's working fine. It's normal, as it's supposed to be. I'm going to remove that. We're going to save a line of code. I mean, that's a button. Is there anything else to it? So it has a label, it has on-click. We probably have to do something for accessibility at some point. Like we'll have to run this on a mobile device and try a screen reader on it and see if it's read correctly. So we might want to add some custom semantics modifiers onto it so that it says like button and then its label and things like that. I don't know what the clickable modifier sets up on its own, so we'll have to do accessibility testing all around these components, so we'll skip that for now.
At least on iOS, I think it should do the correct accessibility tree.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, so we're not using an actual button for it, right? Like if we were using a material button, that one absolutely includes everything we need for accessibility. But this is a box and a piece of basic text. We might need to do it for ourselves here. So again, that's the light mode theme, and if I can figure out how to navigate Figma here, that's the dark mode one. That looks great. Pixel perfect button component.
Gorgeous.
Oh, there was a question about whether this is available already somewhere. Let me give you a quick tour of the repo. That's a good reminder.
It's also the one that's pinned.
Yeah, we can take a look at two things here. So first, there's Compose Hot Reload, which this entire stream is supposedly about, right? Oh wait, the stream isn't called test stream anymore, right? It isn't.
It sure isn't.
Okay, that's good. Because I sure didn't check that before we started. So if you look at the Compose Hot Reload repo, that's what has an example. Well, it has the actual code of the Hot Reload plugin, but it also has a sample that you can look at for how to set this up. It has like a little counter application that you can clone and try for yourself, which is already set up with Compose Hot Reload. But we already have the same thing set up in the KotlinConf app repo as well, except we are not doing this on master. We have a separate KotlinConf 2025 branch because we are preparing for next year already. And if you take a look at the commits there, you can see some of my commits adding the first of these components that we are working with. And then earlier today, I've merged a version of Hot Reload. So this branch, if you go to the KotlinConf 2025 branch, actually already has the same code that you're looking at now, except we have a couple more components. So if we take a look at the Git history here, we can see that we have that commit where I added hot reload, and then I just have 2 other components already implemented, which I'm doing separate branches for. And because we have a button now, this can actually be component. Is it components 5? And that's where this code is gonna go. Again, sorry, are we completely done with the button? I feel like we are.
Looks good to me.
All
To my
right.
untrained eye.
Oh, the gallery. We shouldn't break the gallery. So let's, but we should include the slider because that's great. So we're just gonna optimize imports here real quick. I'm gonna remove the hard-coded position. At least from the commit. And the rest, I think, should be okay to commit. Okay, so that's the main function that we messed around with, which actually in the shared module we can reset everything because we don't need those changes. And then we added the button. Oh, the button has unused imports. Okay, so we added the button. We fixed a color, yes, and then we updated the entry point and we added a slider and the button preview. Okay, so that's gonna be add button component. Very good. Whoops, a change didn't make it in. Amend. Good.
Always make amends.
Always. So that's our button. Want to do we want to attempt the toggle?
The toggle. That sounds like a great idea.
Seems a bit scary, but let's see what we can do.
It is, but that's what makes it exciting.
Of course. So we're gonna create a no, not a composable function. I mean, okay, so that's gonna be the toggle. What I actually wanted to start with was the preview. So if I do prev, that's a compose preview, toggle preview. We can make this internal so that it's not consumable, and it can create a toggle. And at the very least, we'll probably want true false state. So like enabled, or like toggled. Enabled is fine.
I like enabled better.
And something we can do here for a start is hopefully material has some kind of toggle. Is it
a switch? I don't know.
There is a switch. Is it parameterized like this? Oh, look at that. Interestingly, our gallery already includes the toggle preview that I've added. And if we hop over here, we can see that your cursor is right here and you've commented out everything else and added the toggle preview.
I've been caught in the act.
Ah, beautiful. Okay. So the material switch doesn't quite do what we want, but it's not that far.
Certainly doesn't toggle when it doesn't have state.
That's fine. That part we don't care about that much. We can look at. Oh, it also changes what. Okay, so the little toggle thingy on it becomes smaller and larger dynamically. So the question is, and I'm gonna move this out of the way here. Does this have enough customization to? Does this have enough customization to work with it or not? I mean, we might need to write this from scratch. It does have thumb content, so the little thumb thing we can customize. I feel like that's exactly enough for us. So we can go thumb content, and I can put, you know, a box there, and it can have a 20 dp size. I'm just gonna KotlinConf theme, colors, primary. What's our color called? I completely forgot. There's primary text. Where do the like magenta colors come from? And we have whatever, purple text. So I'll try to make it a box. Let's see what that does. Can we get the compilable state and a save?
I hope so.
Is this supposed to be up to date? Oh, we have an exception.
We
we don't have a KotlinConf theme. Right, that makes sense. We should have an exception here. That's correct behavior. So we have the preview helper, which will give us the theme, so it's actually safe to use. The color. And what do we have now? Now we're just stuck, I think.
Oh, it's probably, you know, the composition frame clock probably just ate that exception and just
I'll try
to continue.
Clean composition first.
Okay.
Okay. I mean that's a box. Okay, it still has the circle behind it. That's a bit of a cause for concern. Okay, I've hooked up the listener for that. So I don't know if this stomp content parameter is going to be enough for us. You think we can't pull this off with material 3? I mean, this is...
Janos thinks so.
Do you think regular material is better? I mean, we can't just depend on both of them. It doesn't matter.
His suggestion is to just copy paste the source node and go from there.
Okay, I'm gonna import material. Actually, no, that's a hot reload challenge. So we're gonna add a new import.
Do the toggles work now? By the way, I've hooked up the.
Of course
nice.
they do.
Look at that.
It's hot reload. Of course they do. The things we can take for granted.
Amazing.
Loading Maven repo. Room. Indexing some.
Wrong talk.
Oh, wrong demo. Sorry.
Yeah, wrong demo.
So do we have a regular material switch as well that we could change? That we could change to switch. This okay. So like, it's gonna be a difficult import, isn't it? Material switch as M1 switch. I don't know. M1 switch enabled on toggle. I'm gonna put these into a column so that we can see both. And what does this one have? Wow, even less customization. I'm gonna save it and see if it loads. Yeah, I mean that's an old school material switch. It's so close to what we need though. This is basically exactly what we need if we could just customize the thing.
We could grab the source code.
Yeah.
How much source code could there possibly be?
Anchor drag. How many internal things could it possibly refer to? Anchor draggable switch impl thumb value. I mean, switch impl is already private, obviously.
Of course.
I mean, it's colors we can customize.
I mean, it's a rounded rect and a circle. How hard could it be? Am I right?
Do you just want to build it from scratch? Let's go.
But here's here's the only part that I'm
smoothly draggable.
That was my question.
That's just an anchor draggable, but obviously they're doing so much in here in the material code.
That was like literally the only point. I was like, for tapping, this seems easy. For like doing that seems a little bit harder.
But you can't draggable.
Oh, look at that. Well, then we're following Material 3 guidelines all of a sudden.
Seriously.
Well,
I mean, obviously it doesn't need to be draggable. That part doesn't matter.
I feel like we could just start with the shape and then go from there.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's just build it. Okay, the shape. The shape we're stealing from button. It's the same shape. So it's gonna be toggle, I don't know, background shape or something.
Sure.
And then we're gonna have a toggle, what was it called? Like thumb shape. And that's just gonna be, I mean, that's actually just circle shape.
Just make a really short slider. I love that idea.
Really? Oh, just so that we don't have dragging problems?
Yeah, I that's very funny.
I mean, yes. What language is this? It's Kotlin.
Yeah.
Answer that question. And compose multi-platform for our toolkit.
The UI framework.
Yes, the UI toolkit. Yes, sorry. Okay, we're gonna have a background shape then. So we're... How hard could it be? So we're gonna have a box. We're gonna make it... Let's check the design for sizing. It's 28 by 16. So it's gonna be size, width, 28 dps, height, 16 dps. Whoops. What color is it? It's toggle on color. That makes some sense. Background color is gonna be KotlinConf theme.colors.toggle on. That's a box.
Nice. I
We're
don't
gonna
like the
clip
shape.
it. Okay.
Sorry.
We're gonna clip it into shape.
And that looks way better. See? Sometimes you just gotta complain. Squeaky wheel gets the grease and such.
Mm-hmm. Inside it, we're gonna have... Well, inside it? I guess inside it we put a box. We put a box around this box and make it 3 boxes.
Mm-hmm. Have an outer, have an inner.
Have a meta box around it.
Yep. And then vertically center the ingredients.
So this one is 14 by 14, the inner thing. So this can just be 14 dps. And its color is gonna be I'm having trouble selecting into there. Oh, its color is main background, which hopefully is the same in dark mode. Main background. Yeah, so that's gonna be whatever main background is. And then of course we're gonna have some... Yep, sorry. Gonna save that. I mean, you know, we're halfway there.
Literally.
16. So how is this 14 by 14? The math isn't mathing. Oh, I guess it just has a huge border. Okay. So let's do a border of 2 dps. The color is... again, just toggle on color or toggle off color, depending. Actually, we should set that up now so that we have a color for that. So just... we can do a toggle color here, animate color as state. If enabled, then this is going to be toggle on. Else, it's going to be toggle off. And then we can use that here. So 2dp border. I'm going to name the parameters so that it's readable. Color should be whatever the toggle color is, and shape is going to be toggle thumb shape. And then the color we need somewhere else as well. Here, actually. So this should be toggle color depending on whether it's true or false. And if you let that compile, I mean, okay. We're getting there. The sizing is incorrect because I did it before I did it after applying the border, and we need to size it at the beginning, so I'll size it at the beginning. Curious. We've set the size, we've clipped it, and then we've added a border. Shouldn't it be larger? Do I have to oversize it? I guess I have to oversize it because the...
That looks pretty good.
Well, there's some weird artifacting around the... I don't know why we get that.
Oh, I don't see that on my... okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's a density thing?
Oh, it's because of the density hacking. And it's pretty consistent.
Okay.
It's pretty consistent. So why is that drawn? Why do we have this like shadow-like thing over there? Does border get applied inside the content instead of outside? I mean, it's inside this sizing for sure. Oh, it's the wrong shape here for one. That didn't change a thing. Okay. So we've set a background on it, we've sized it, we've clipped it, and then we've added a border.
Elevation?
Why would we have elevation from anywhere?
I'm just relaying information as the chat gives it to me.
Oh,
but
right.
Also, yeah. I don't think we're very elevated here. Since we no longer use any built-ins. Just regular old shapes.
I'm gonna remove the material imports. That's a good reminder. Okay. I'm still thinking about the sizing in the meantime. I'm gonna make this more obvious, so that we know it just accounts for the border. Where could that be coming from? Well, either way, we should make this clickable. Let's try to make it clickable and see what happens. So it would be good to have a modifier clickable up here, and whenever that happens, we're gonna do an on click, and I assume we have an on toggle for that. Yes, like this.
All right, can I get an import?
Whoops. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, the outline is very ugly for toggling. And, oh. Cheers.
Well, I figured otherwise there's not much.
Oh.
You know, it's hot. The reloads are hot. They're much hotter when things move. Yeah.
Too hot.
Too hot to handle.
So that was removing the launched effect, I guess. Let's run this again.
That was all you.
Okay, so if I click things now, it works correctly. I mean, we need to make this much nicer because the outlines are very ugly on this. So can we maybe do clickable modifiers for each separate box instead of the main one? And of course, we need to sort it correctly with the clipping. Whoops, missed parentheses.
Does border actually add any width though? Perhaps it will just follow the size of the item, whatever it is, even if it's applied before the size modifier. Size 16 border to size 14. Okay.
Okay, we do the clickable before the clip, so that the clickability also gets clipped. That works.
I mean, yeah.
and these are separately clickable. So if I click the bottom part of it or the top part of it, we can see the difference. I mean, that's not ideal, but we are building a Switch from scratch, you know?
I kind of like it, I'm not gonna lie.
And it works in dark mode. Okay. So we are just aligning to center and end. That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, now the
Except
question is, can we
should animate it.
animate this? Yes. But the question is, can we? What would that be?
There is... Sorry, there is a slight white border to answer the chat. We were looking at that. We haven't figured out how to fix it yet. But we would like to fix it. Don't know where it's coming from though.
Hold on, I'm looking at the flow chart. I'm curious to think if it's enough to just wrap this in like...
Just animate content?
Yeah, and just animate content. I'm curious. I don't really know.
We can do animate content size on the entire thing. I guess that doesn't do it.
This is...
Is it just animated content or... Oh, it needs
animate.
Like that's
can we see if we have an? Can we see if there's an animate alignment as state? Is that a thing?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we can have animate offset as state. So if this was an offset change, that would be easy to animate. But there's something to animate layout changes in general. Oh, animate. Yeah, animate placement would be good. There is something like this. I just don't recall it off the top of my head at the moment. Is it animate item placement? What's that?
That's for lists.
That's in lazy grid. Yeah.
Animate placement.
Animate content size, isn't it? What do the docs say?
Yeah, I've been walking through the flowchart, but I ended up in animate star as state. There's animate.
I feel like this should be it.
Or just animate content size.
And there's a demo of it. Let's take the demo. Put it in our gallery. Oh, this is going to be so many imports. Clickable, padding, wrap. Oh, interesting. They have it at the end of the thing, at the end of the chain. We don't need the style for the text. Well, okay. I think hot reload is done because I've changed the entire contents to something new.
Okay.
Clean composition. That's still no. Okay, retry failed compositions. No. Okay, I think we broke hot reload by just changing the entire contents and.
Okie dokie.
No, it doesn't. Okay, no, I did a compilation error. Is what happened. Okay, it wasn't hot reload's fault. We just need to more prominently display that it's in an uncompilable state. So it says hi, and yeah, so it does this. This is the sample for animate. Whatever it is. For animate.
Well, but that animates a size though.
Right. Okay. I guess maybe it's literally just size. Yeah.
How does the
toggle back?
How does the toggle?
Yes. Okay.
Like how does the material toggle do it?
I bet they calculate everything manually. Oh, let me try one more thing. Let me try to put this at the end of the chain. Okay, it's not a size change. I get it. Okay. So material switch.
They used anchor draggable for it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but we need the older switch. So we need. How do we? Okay, I've managed to import the old one accidentally. Oh, that also has anchor draggable.
I'm genuinely surprised that like I'd feel like having an animation from like one alignment to another is not a particularly uncommon use case. Like you might have text that's left aligned that you want to center align.
There's align by. There's align baseline.
Hold on. We're googling. There is no built-in support, says 2021. Animate alignment as state. There's a function here that can potentially be stolen. This is a bias alignment. I'm gonna drop this in here, and you can tell me whether this looks vaguely like useful to you. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen bias alignment before in my life.
I mean, I guess that's just the actual implementation of. Oh, yeah, I guess we're just downcasting an alignment now and hoping that we can read the values from it. That's, you know, that's
Safe.
kind of makes sense. Animate, animate line. Oh, and that's state, of course. So
Yep.
it's like
just by animate alignment as state.
by.
I don't think it needs to be remembered.
Hmm.
Because it already has the animate float as state internally. And also that's what the Stack Overflow answer have open says.
Okay.
Does that look better? Oh, look, I mean, that looks like a... That looks toggled. Why, what's with the concerned face? You're not a bias alignment enjoyer?
Well, we are downcasting this. That's pretty rough. Or are we? Yeah, we are. I mean, it's always going to be bias alignment, so we can always get that out of it. Also, now that I can move it, I can see that it doesn't go as far as I would like it to go. Like if I feel like it should, go 2 more DPs to the side, so that it like these shouldn't line up exactly. Like the toggle should go 2 more DPs to the right, like the little thumb.
I see what you're saying.
But I think we can also just align this to the middle and then just offset it either way, and that might be way easier. Like maybe an X offset is trivial because we have a hard-coded width for the entire thing.
Yeah, okay, I guess you know the width.
So what if we just do animate DP as state, and if enabled, we offset it by 14 DPs, and otherwise by minus 14 DPs. So what if we do that? Okay. Interesting. The math doesn't entirely math.
So there's a lot of
Why
bias
doesn't
alignment
it?
enjoyers in chat, by the way. So that, you know.
Oh, did you see that?
You mean just the reload?
Yes,
The
but
hottest reloads?
so the
Oh,
reload
the
animates now.
animation! Oh my god, the animated reload? Whoa! Well, that's a timestamp for an entirely other reason.
Yeah, so maybe like an 8 DP thing. Oh wait, it doesn't toggle in. Some
Too
of them
wide.
don't. I swear it wasn't toggling. Yeah, that's too wide. So why do we need 7 dPs of offset? I'm still a bit confused. So we're in the... So it's in the middle. Oh, 14 dP would put it outside. Right. So we actually need... half of that, which is 7, and... Yeah, no, I think this is exactly correct then. Yeah, that lines up. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. We should clean up the magic numbers at some point. Maybe now. So we can have toggle width, which is 14 dPs. Oh, sorry, 28.
By the way, can I just say I really like the suggestion that we got in the chat, which is just mark the implementation as @experimental KotlinConf and just, you know, eat the downcast.
I appreciate the spirit of that.
Yeah,
We can make it a delicate KotlinConf API.
that's right. Can I just say, there's something I feel like we've already gotten so used to it, like it's almost fading into the background. But can we just appreciate for a second again? I mean, you broke it now, different story. But you know, can we just appreciate how nice it is to be able to make a change and just like immediately, like, duck around with it again?
Oh, I didn't break it. I broke the code.
Yeah, of course. Why are you acting surprised?
Oh, look at that. Look at this.
It's pretty gorgeous.
Just hot reloading through that. Okay, I mean this is a functional component. Like I think we have something nice here.
Yeah.
Oh, this thumb size. We can put that in there. So this is like thumb size. Oh, that's in DPs. Okay. We're just gonna change the parentheses around. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why the thing is there. I don't know how we can make that go away.
Out of curiosity, if you rendered it on a different target.
Oh, I mean, we can do that. This is a preview. We can run an Android preview. If we just build it.
We have the options. We have the technology.
We do have the technology.
Hey, what is it? What is it with you and getting rid of like the cool little things I build? I can't tell at this resolution, unfortunately.
No, it's still there. It's the same thing. So compose rendering is consistent, which is very good.
It's just upsetting that it's not rendering what we want.
You might want to have it at a real size of 16, but then have the overflow be outside of normal bounds, perhaps. We could size the whole thing into 20 dPs. Wrap content size unbounded through it so that it can go outside. Yeah, I mean, we could, but this does work. Or do we reckon that would
the pragmatic developer?
And we can try this. I just have to get the ordering right. So instead of sizing it like this, we can try sizing it to 20 DPs. I'm just copying from the chat here. 2 DP border. We can do a wrap content so that it can be unbounded. Beautiful. And then we can size it to 16 DPs. Wobble, wobble. Wait, it does make it go away. What?
Well, that's upsetting.
So now we just need to fix the sizing a bit, because I think we're missing. Well, let's try this. Okay, that's tiny, and it has the glitch again. Yes, that's just the same size, and then we add 4 DPs for good measure for the border. Is that it? Are we done? That might be it. Works in dark mode.
That looks
Okay.
great.
Thank you. That's very cool. Yeah, I wonder if the sizing is correct. Because a lot of things jumped around. But I guess the background size is always correct, right? So if relatively it looks correct, then we're good. Like if the height of that is always the fixed height anyway. It would be nice to fix the click so that these are in one modifier somehow, but clipped to the contents, you know? I don't know if that's doable.
That would be nice.
Yeah. We can also ignore that for now. Oh, also we have a modifier that we never applied. Bad practice. So obviously whatever is at the root of our component should accept the modifier as a parameter like this. And then if we try to modify something here, like do a modifier, just like padding 20 DPs down here, then that will actually work. Hey, the Android preview was slightly faster. We are accidentally drag racing again.
These things happen.
Oh, look at that. The Android preview is just a blink faster. Of course, it doesn't do this. Oh, I broke state 2. I broke state 2. State 1 is working.
Okay. You know what? That's what you get. That's what you get for removing my launch defect.
Yeah, I see that now. I see that now. Sorry. Is this done? I think we did this.
I'm signing off on it.
Okay. Do we need to do any cleanup? We have to optimize imports. Oh, we added material. I guess we're gonna drop material again. And then in the gallery, we're just gonna put this alphabetically down here. Eventually, I do want to make the gallery something proper so we can have like a menu of items and you can open each one to look at the components or something. But so far, oh, Denny City float. Den City float. And just optimize. And if we scroll down, we have all of our components and one of them is a toggle. How cute.
You can share the same interaction source so that the ripple happens in both at the same time.
Of course.
Clickable takes an interaction source.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Real MVP right there. So we just need to remember one of those. I keep doing this. I keep doing this. I swear. Whenever I need to. So I was building for the same components for some of the other ones. I was trying to build custom ripple effects and stuff like that. So I was doing my own interaction source, or I was trying to, instead of a ripple, like do a background color changed. So like I was observing things from the interaction source, and I keep trying to declare it like this. And that's like one of the very few hard keywords we have that I'm not allowed to use. It's very annoying. Interaction source. Can we remember interact? Do I just create an mutable interaction source? Do you want to be remembered? Yes, definitely want to be remembered. That's a fun question to ask anyone, but especially an interaction source. I'm now realizing.
You're not wrong.
It says What did I do?
Might want to remember this bad boy. Oh, never mind. My bad.
Oops.
What?
Okay.
What's happening? Ah! Never mind. That's already a mutable interaction source.
I think it might require an indication in this case. Yes, it won't. This is one of the silliest parts of this API. I mean, I can do an indication null and then it won't have a ripple. But really what I want is I want to look at what the default indication is, which the other clickable function surely passes in. So if we just go here, it's just local indication.current. Why is that not a default value somehow? Why do you do this to me? I mean, at least that's public. Sure.
It's a win.
Oh, I've managed to move this off screen. I'll bring it back. We'll save it. Yep. Same interaction source, just toggles as one thing.
Nice.
That is so cool. That is so very cool. Sounds like a title to compose related presentation. Do you want to be remembered? That's one of the more existential DroidCon talks you can do. Okay, so our toggle code is, I think, fine. Gallery, I have removed all the funky things from it. Yeah, so this can be add toggle component, and then we'll see what comes back in code review. But at least we've built that. Okay. I don't know. One more, I guess. We can just keep going.
Sure, after a quick shout out of what we're actually building here. The KotlinConf app, which is why are we building that?
Because we'll have KotlinConf again next year. For full context, yeah, let's go through all the important links. So KotlinConf app, you can find it in the JetBrains/KotlinConf app repo. This on master is going to be the existing version of the app. The one that we're working on is on KotlinConf 2025, as well as on like pending PRs that are waiting for reviews and to be merged as we are building new components. But KotlinConf 2025 is the current working version that we're preparing for next year, and it already includes hot reload. So even if you clone it now and you start messing around with that branch, hot reload is actually already merged into it, so you can try that. Also, what is hot reload? How are we hot reloading Compose with a running desktop application? Real quick, that's a very, very experimental plugin that we have available. So it's this plugin that you can see right here. It's also linked in the chat and pinned and everything, so you should be able to find this. And that's what we're using to get real-time updates in the app. So if I go into the gallery right now and I go to maybe the button preview and I just change something and save the file, you will see that it updates immediately without having to rerun this Compose application. And then again, KotlinConf itself, which the app is going to be used for, is happening next year in Copenhagen. Grab your tickets, choose your workshops, apply for call for speakers if you have a topic, and yeah, I think that's all the plugs we have. If you look at workshops, we have very cool workshops. We have one with Seb, who's gonna be doing coroutines once again. That's him up there ish. We have advanced Kotlin techniques. We have backend things, K-Tors and Spring separate workshops. We have a Compose workshop with yours truly.
Yeah, that's you.
That is me. That is me. As well as Victor, who's the team lead for Compose. So you're going to be in very good hands there. For Compose multi-platform, that is, of course. We have some functional things. So yeah, check out the workshops if you're one of the speaker types. Don't forget to apply with the talk. And otherwise, make sure you grab your ticket while they are still on sale. There was a question in the chat about whether the Figma file is also available. It is not. I got permission to show it on stream so that we can do this, but we don't have like a public shared version of it. There's nothing sensitive in it as far as we know. It just has like a bunch of like text styles and variables, but we're not gonna make this public. But you'll have the app to play with, which is gonna be the exact implementation, so that's good. Yeah, we have I don't know, we have some notes here. Obviously, all the data is just from the previous year's conference if you look at it, so like no spoilers or anything in that regard. Yeah, you can have an early read at the privacy policy.
Wow, that's cool.
What a leak for the stream here. Also, here's the button. That's what you're gonna. That button that we have just built live on stream is gonna be the exact button that you will hit to accept the privacy policy next year.
Whoa,
that's pretty cool.
That's wild. Yeah, that's what we call wild. Impact.
Yeah.
Now I wish we had made it like.
And the toggle is gonna confetti. Be here. Look at all those toggles.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The toggle. We're not done with the toggle yet. I just realized. So the toggle was just a piece of the puzzle here. So that's actually here in the settings item.
Well, we did the toggle. The toggle was a standalone thing.
Yeah. But we can build both of these things now. So we have page menu item and settings item, which are very close to each other.
I think we could.
Let's just build these. And I mean, after that, these are 2 more components. That's a lot of work for today. So we can probably wrap after we're done with these, plus like Q&A if there's any questions.
People are asking because they'd like to contribute some components.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'll take care of the actual components. But that's a very nice suggestion. We will take like accessibility improvements and things like that for sure, because we don't have that spec'd yet. And again, we're doing a lot of manual implementation. The way that we are approaching this dependency-wise is that this UI components module does depend on material, so that we can pull in something like a switch if we want that as an implementation detail. But then the actual app is only going to depend on this UI components, and material here is going to be an implementation detail. So we're building a lot of things from scratch, as you've just seen with this toggle. So definitely like making sure we have the correct semantics modifiers, things like that. Yeah, Martin still needs his day job. I'm supposed to be doing all of this in work hours. The reality is that most of the coding, if you go back into the commit history, has been done between like 9 and midnight in the evenings, because I just really love coding Compose. But yes, it's also supposed to be work hours, technically. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So one more? 2 more?
What's up with the empty button? Yeah, 2 more. At least 2 more. Let's do these 2 items because they're very close to each other. So we have page menu item.kt, and we're gonna have settings item.kt, and I wonder if they should have like a common parent of some sort, because they look very similar.
They do look quite similar.
Padding. I mean, surely all the specs are the same between these. Content box. What is content box? I have no idea what I'm doing whenever I use Figma, by the way. So I hope everyone enjoys that. Yeah. Page menu item. Where do these show up?
The answer to should they have a common parent is always no.
That's true.
That's wisdom.
That's true. I get that. Like actual inheritance wise, that is absolutely always the answer. But with Compose, this can just be a component that takes things as parameters.
You're telling me there's some sort of composition over inheritance?
Yeah. Don't fall for the
Thoughts
trap.
for the win.
Again, yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Oh, just checking. Is the music still on and all okay on the stream side? Random question. So suddenly it became a lot louder in my ears. I'm gonna skip this song. Wow, the skip button doesn't work.
Not built in Compose.
This button up here?
Yeah, your skip button isn't built in Compose.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a physical button.
It's plastic.
Yeah,
it's not.
That's why it's not working.
Sad times. Right. So I was gonna find this, and as far as I can tell, the way to find a usage of a component is to search for it like this. Really, just go page menu item, and then it gives you a bunch of them. So okay, there it is. So it's all of the like about links. It's the privacy policy link at the bottom of the screen, stuff like that. That makes a lot of sense. And then the other thing is the settings item, which is in the notification settings, in the onboarding. There's an actual settings screen, which has the exact same components, but that's screen level work. Okay, so they show up in completely different places. Okay. I mean, I really don't have strong feelings about whether to just straight up duplicate it or have a parent. What do you think?
I mean, I guess we could just have 2 slots. But the padding, I think, is the padding the same?
It is.
Between the right hand side padding. I'm just like looking at the toggle and the arrow. I can't visually tell.
It depends on the padding is the same. It's 16 DPs all around.
Okay.
So an interesting question is, and this is also something that will probably take PRs for at some point, is what happens if you start scaling the screen up and down, like text scaling and display scaling. We'll also have to start testing for that, and that will probably make some layout fixes. Because right now we could hardcode that this is 50-60p's height wise, for example. Like either we hardcode 50-60p's here, probably as a minimum. That's what I've been doing with all the other components. Or we hardcode that this is header 3, whatever that size is, and then just the padding added to it. And if we have the same parent, then we can't do the height. We can't do the height thing. The thing is, a minimum height would be nice in case. Would it? It's very hard to think about all the possible like text and DP scaling things you can modify.
16 DP inner padding seems to be winning the popularity race by 1 vote.
I mean, yeah. We are definitely having that. That also works better when the font becomes smaller, not just bigger. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But then everything has to react the same way, so we need to make sure that we build all of the components that way. For example, we have to go back to the button, and instead of having a height of 56, which is what we've whoops, wrong keyboard layout. So instead of having a height of 56, which is what we've done, we have to are we compiling? There really needs to be something that
Oh no, we're not compiling because I've already created the like preview items that you just, you got sidetracked and never built. Let me just there we go.
Oh. Okay, so then we need to revamp the button real quick, because the way that works is also that it's just padding based. So it's supposed to also have vertical padding of 16 DPs. Like that. And now the question is whether this is identical to not having the vertical parameter but having the height in, and we're gonna test that. So we're just gonna put 2 boxes here in a row, I suppose, and I'll break the import. So we'll do the first one with the original implementation that just set the minimum size and didn't use the padding. Yeah, so these are not identical. That's where they get you. So that's not the same size, which is quite annoying. Yeah, 16 is right. So this is, yeah. So this is supposed to have a top padding of 16 and a bottom padding of 16, and then the text in there is whatever is text 1. I suspect that it's the text that's very hard to capture here. So the sizing for this is set, so the size is 16, but the line height is actually contributing to the size here, and in Compose it isn't. Right? So the actual text size is 16, but the line height is calculated, like Figma, it's padding outside of the line height.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we can capture that in Compose in like in a text style object, that the line height is actually different. I also don't know if that's per component or if wherever we have the common sizing, which is text 1. I guess we do have the line height here as well. So it would be good to edit here. Do we have line height? We do have line height. Wait a minute. We can make that 24. And that makes no change. 50? Oh, let's do clean composition. That didn't do anything. Let's rerun the app to make sure that, again, this is coming through like composition locals, so I don't know if I can trust it. Looks like we can, so that didn't change.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you do 2 lines, if it does break.
Yeah, that changes.
So it does make a change. It's just that's not the change we want to see.
In the world, yes. So with Figma, it actually, we can see on this element here, if I inspect it, like it says that it's 24 high, and then if we pad around it, yeah. So like this is always as large as the line height included. Actually, both above and below it, like it distributes it on both sides. And I don't know if we can code that in Compose, other than by just straight up adding padding into the like styled text component we have. Like we could just add padding to that. In Compose by default, it's only added in between items in a multi-line paragraph. Yeah, exactly. That's the exact problem versus Figma here. And I don't know if we can change it. Like, I don't know if there's something we can mess with that would fix that problem for us. I mean, we could wrap this up in styled text. Oh, there is include font padding somewhere, but is that what that does? That's definitely a thing we can do. It's either a modifier or it's something. Compose font padding. It's a text view parameter. Okay, here's the source for this. When include font padding is false, the line height. Math. Hola. Fixes for the view system. Okay, compose. Yeah, I'll try that. Thanks for the code in the chat. So we're gonna do. Oh, is this in material? Oh no. I bet that's gonna be in material. Why is there no result for this platform style? I cannot find it. Oh, it's within textile. Sorry, it's within textile. Platform style. There it is. Okay, so we can do platform style. Yes. I got it. Platform style. Does not have a default constructor. Okay. The imports are killing me here. There's a function here. Import the function. Does it not exist with Compose Multiplatform?
Oh, it said it was an expect. So I'm a little confused.
How can I import this any harder? Or make it resolve better to something else?
Doesn't have a default constructor?
I mean, that's fine, but there's some kind of factory function for it, obviously.
Default platform text style? Those are internal.
So there's a line height API that can determine how to distribute it. But the thing we need to control is whether it's added or not, like whether we pad or not. And I guess that's okay. Let's just double check that this is what we wanted. So it used to be that font padded was added by default. We determined it shouldn't be common API. It's a weird parameter. I don't like font padding, I decided.
I'm with you.
Okay, we're gonna ignore this problem and move on. That's what we're gonna do. So that would be ideal to add that extra padding in somehow. And actually in typography, it would be good to already add the line heights, because that seems important. So let's fix the line heights, and then we'll see later if there's any possible way to fix the rest of it. Okay, so like line height 32 SP, and then 28, 24, and 20. 28. That's not an 8. 28, 24, and did I say 20? Yes. And then 24 and 20 again. I mean, with text 1 and text 2, we'll actually have paragraphs of text, so it's good if we... Oh wait, did I just change the font size? What am I doing? So with these two, we'll actually have paragraphs of text that are not single line, so it's good if we fix the styling on it. And then for button, we are just gonna revert the changes that I've made here, including the row import, because we don't need that. Yeah, okay, so same approach. We're gonna stick to the same approach with the components here. So let's do page menu item. I guess that's the simpler one of the two, right? Page menu item, yes.
Seems simple enough to me.
Page menu item shape can be a rounded thing.
Hit me with some imports.
Oh yeah. So this is rounded, radius of 8. I bet we have something like this already. So this is just like tile background. I just want the usage of tile background somewhere. Service event looks a lot like this. We'll steal the code of a service event. And there's like a for loop in it and stuff. That's alright. So this is gonna be a column of things. Well, not a column actually, a row this time. I'll save that. Can we let it hot reload? Or did it already? Maybe it's just not visible because it's a 0 D. Yeah, it's actually a 0 DP thing at the moment. So we need header 3 here. So there's going to be styled text. It's going to say name. Let's run that already. Yep, we're getting there. Style is going to be KotlinConf theme. Typography H3. So it's going to get bigger or bolder anyway. And then there's going to be another style, which is going to say, oh no, that's an icon. Does that have to be a material icon? Or is any of this in Foundation? Compose material. Does Foundation not have like an icon thing? Oh, I bet I know how this works. Yeah. Yeah, it's just okay. So the material icon just paints into canvas in like 2 steps. We should look at how the existing button is implemented. It's just a material icon. I'll just steal that. Oh, the imports. Oh, the imports. Okay. Can you help me with an onSelect function?
Parameter?
Yeah. Or something like that anyway.
I'm guessing since this is the page menu item, we don't really need a
it's just on click
parameter. It's just on click, yep.
And then the background for this is going to be primary text. Oh, I mean KotlinConf theme colors primary text. And then we have to. Okay, I'll mess with the sizing of the icon later. I just want it to appear at first. Tint, we're also going to ignore. Okay, beautiful. I think we have some adjustments to make.
Barely.
So this is an H3. So first of all, the entire thing has 16 dps of padding. So like internally 16 dps of padding. Good. Then we should align things. So vertical alignment is alignment center good. Then we need to push things to the two sides. I guess we can just have a spacer. Will this work? Oh, and of course we want to size this to fill probably whatever is available. Are you typing something?
Nope, sorry.
Oh no, I broke content description. Okay. Okay, that's getting there. It's not the background color that I wanted to set here, but actually a tint. Okay. Does that look like our component?
I'd say yeah.
Ah,
that's pretty
okay.
good
Yeah,
to me.
we can. Indeed, we can do horizontal arrangement. Sure, let's do that. So one of these does the correct thing. I'm gonna hot reload the bits too.
Show me one that's wrong.
Uh-oh.
Are you showing me one that's wrong?
Well, this exception down here is wrong. Row measure policy are cannot be cast to class. Wow. Okay, adding an arrangement broke something. I'm gonna do retry failed composition and like clean. And that worked. Well, one of those buttons fixed it. I don't know which one, unfortunately. But here's one of the wrong arrangements. So space between would push them to the sides. Okay, hot reload did not do that. Clean composition? Clean composition does it. Yeah, so the arrangement doesn't update unless I clean composition, is what happens. Looks a bit off-centered. Or am I tripping? Can you put borders on both text and icon to see where they are? Yeah, so you're saying the borders are not the same on the two sides? I can measure it for you. Not precisely. That's like 67-ish. That's like 73-ish, so it's definitely not correct. So the thing is, the icon sizing... Oh, you mean they're not centered vertically?
Yeah?
Yeah, they sure aren't.
True.
Okay, what's the icon size here? That's gonna be the culprit. So this icon is supposed to be 24 dps, first of all. I don't know what the circle shape, I just copy pasted from somewhere. So the icon's supposed to be 24 dps. The on-click is overly complicated because, again, copy pasting. And again, we have this to do already to review all of our icon sizing, because we have exports where... Of course, this is a black icon. Okay. So we have exports where we have everything exported at like different sizes for the icon, and I'm not sure if we need that, and we need to review if the you know, like line width differs if you export it at like 14 and 16 and 24 and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to do a bit of fidgeting reviewing the icons at some point, and we just didn't do that yet. I guess we can put in 24 here, because it's... Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a difference. We can actually see that. So if I go back to 16, the arrow becomes thinner, and if we go to 24, then it's the correct size. But I wonder if we can avoid that. And now that we've sized it, we can see that it's also centered correctly, because everything's 24. So maybe we do need the separate icon sizing for some reason. because it's not just the exact same vector image, but like line width changes on it or something. I'm good with this. Content description, again, we should definitely fix. Like, that's an accessibility cleanup thing, because the whole thing will need a content description. The icon doesn't need one, but probably the row should have whatever is this label. Like, it's gonna have a label as a string, and probably the accessibility thing for the entire row should be that, right? So that would be like merge descendants through, and then I don't know how this API works. Maybe like this. Like maybe this is the sort of thing we need, but I'm like really not sure. And you know what? Let's try it. Let's actually run it. We just need the Android app to work. Okay, it's a small bit of hopping around, but I think it's worth trying because accessibility is something that we'll have to do anyway at some point. So what does the Android app display? It contains this app. And what's the thing we just built? It's the page menu item.
Yup.
And we're just going to put one of those in the Android app. And I guess we're missing a Gradle sync. And then we're also going to start building Android app. Hi. Hello. There's still people joining us apparently. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Good to have you.
We still have 30 people watching us trying to run an Android app. This is wonderful. I tried to run that while I was syncing the project, so nothing happened. That's on me. And here's an emulator. And now we'll discover how to turn on talkback on an emulator. How hard could it be? Ooh, okay, that's a slow emulator with the 20 different streams that I'm doing here.
Is the unresolved reference on icon, is that expected?
I think we should be in a compilable state.
Okay.
Where are you? Oh,
page menu item. And also like looking at the actual
build.
build.
Yeah. We removed I removed the material one dependency because we didn't need it anymore, and we didn't do a Gradle sync at any point. So that's why we kept seeing it and why I could import it. And we do need the material 3 one, which has different parameters. Is the import correct at least? Icon, give me the icon function. Yeah, like that one. There we go. Optimize imports, build Android. We're gonna get there. Does hot reload work with the Android emulator? Yeah, it doesn't. That's true. We're not gonna have hot reload there, so if we want to test anything, it's gonna take more time. I'm still seeing a placeholder. So not only do we not have hot reload, we just don't have the correct contents in the Android app. There we go. That was interesting. So, on this thing, let's turn talkback on. I wonder if everyone's gonna hear this.
App info. In list. 8 items. Window talkback. Allow Android accessibility. Allow.
I'm gonna allow that.
Double tap to P.
So the thing is, I don't know how to change apps with talkback. Yeah, I'll stop the music so that we can do talkback testing. It's saying hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay. I mean that works. The entire thing is
Hello.
one node. I feel like my random guessing of accessibility APIs worked. Of course, I
Very
should put
impressive.
this above the padding. And actually, let's see what happens if we don't have this, right? Like that's the point. We should see what we're fixing.
Tap and hold to long press. KotlinConf 2024.
Okay, that's a much smaller border.
Yeah, so it has
Hello.
hello on there.
Unlabeled.
It says
Double tap to
unlabeled
activate.
on there. And that's it, basically. Oh, and it says double tap to activate. Double tap does nothing. Oh wait, shouldn't the whole thing be clickable? Now that I look at it again, it shouldn't be the icon that we're clicking, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
Like the whole
that's
row
true.
should be clickable here, surely. So actually let's fix that first. So we're gonna put the on click up here below the clip, and then we're gonna rerun it.
Home. At a glance. View. Double tap and hold to long press. KotlinConf 2024. Hello. Double tap to activate.
Okay, so this just works for free because we've moved the modifier. I did all the semantics for nothing.
It was still a pretty impressive flex.
Hello. Double tap to
Yeah.
activate.
Okay, so it says hello double tap to activate if you click that, and it has the correct large selection, including the padding and everything. That's beautiful. Okay, so actually Compose is very accessible out of the box.
Home.
Is
At a
what we
glance. View.
just learned.
Double tap and hold to long press.
Okay, are we done with this component then? I think we are. Right, we have a
Looks like
preview
it.
for it. I guess we don't need any alternative previews for it. The preview function we've made internal, icon sizing, we've added the to-do. I'll clean up the imports. Yeah. I think that's it. Change.
Oh yeah, no, I already did it. I'm just wondering why I'm not seeing the change.
Oh, did we detach something in the meantime? Good question. I can do a clean comp for you. That also doesn't update.
Ooh.
I can do a reset, retry failed. That also doesn't work. I think we're stuck.
Interesting.
I'm gonna quit that and rerun it. Was it because we ran an Android app in the meantime? Could it be?
Potentially.
It now says
Noting it down
name.
to investigate.
Oh, look at that beautiful clickability that we have now. Let's see if it works in general. Let's do label. Yeah, label works.
Yes. Nice.
I mean, okay, let's do the debugging here. Let's launch the Android app again. That would be a weird conflict, wouldn't it?
KotlinConf 2024.
It sure would.
Hello. Double
Okay,
tap
we
to
have hello,
activate.
hello.
Home. At a glance. View. Double tap and hold to
Yeah, no,
long
it's
press.
updating as you're changing it.
KotlinConf 2024. Hello. Double tap to activate. Home. At a glance.
Okay, I'm gonna quit the simulator because it's talking back a lot. And we'll put the music back on. Okay, interesting. So we need a settings item. I'm just gonna take the preview page menu item, right? And go settings item instead. And then this will have what? A title and a note and a toggle. And yeah, title, note, and it doesn't have an icon. Can you change the gallery, or did you already?
Sure. That's just a single line change.
I can look at what you're doing real quick. We can see that you've changed the preview, and yeah, we immediately have the new component to work with. Wonderful. So what this needs to look like is this. Oh, I'm in the completely wrong file. Yep. So it's going to be text, and those are actually going to be in a column first. And then we're going to have a toggle of our own making. So it's going to be like enabled and on toggle.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I wonder if we should make the whole thing clickable. That's a design question for later.
That is true.
We really need to make this compile. Are you making a... Yeah, you're making an enabled for it. So we're just going to be enabled. And then... let me resize this.
Toggle. Yep. Just give me some imports and we're all good. I hope.
Oops, not enough imports. Whoops. Oh, hot reload. Yeah, that works.
Nice.
That's very good. Let's fix the text styles. So it's going to be header 3 and text 2. Header 3, text 2. No, not header 2. Text 2. Yep, that's our component. All right. You should probably not make the whole row clickable. Most users will click it accidentally. Yeah, could be. I'm a bit torn on it. Let's see where it will present itself. What is this called? Settings item. So here's oh, actually this is a good piece of example text to grab for it. Because it's lengthy text, so we need to make sure it scales properly. Of course it doesn't. We already caught a problem. So between these, there is a 4 pixel gap that should be there. So in this column, we need vertical arrangement, arrangement spaced by 4 dps. What did I break? Is it parentheses? Yes. There you go. 4 dps of gap. Very good. And then if we can find that settings item again. Oh, right. Now we're... Yeah, so... So now the arrangement is biting us. Is it? What's happening with the... What's up with our toggles?
That is a good question.
So we have a row. It has the column in it and the toggle. Yeah. We should have a 1F weight on the column. That makes sense. But like, is it pushing the column or the toggle entirely off screen? But there's still a circle drawn there. That's so strange. I don't get why that happens. Yeah, exactly. What is the circle doing there? Did we break hot reload? Question mark. Oh, we did. Is there a there's a compilation error. Oh, there we go. I had a bad import again. Yeah, so if we don't have the weight, the toggle collapses on itself and gets covered in the weirdest possible way. That's good to know. So on this high level there is. So how is this defined here? The spacing between these bits. So there's like and there's 16 dps of padding on the outside, which we do have, yeah. But how do we keep these things from overflowing each other? It just says space between. But that doesn't seem... I feel like we don't have a spec for this. We're just gonna do 16 dps. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna space by 16 dps, which is the same as the outside padding. And then compilation error again? Question mark? No?
It ain't me.
Okay, let's do a test. Oh, we have something. Arrangement cannot be cast. I think we've seen this before. Changing an arrangement crashes things.
Okay.
I'm gonna clean composition. Yeah, that looks decent. Maybe we don't need this much padding. I mean, in this case we do. Yeah, this seems fine. This looks good. Obviously, we could lower it, but then in some cases it's gonna get cramped. So like 16 dp is this outside padding, like around the entire box. I guess we can get away with 8. So if we had 0, is this 0? There is no way that that's 0. That just hasn't updated again. Lean composition. Yeah, that wasn't not updating. 8. Yeah, okay, so arrangement we just can't play with for some reason. Wait, okay.
Noted.
Okay, so what if we put it into a different variable? Just something that just reruns on every composition. Just like a value. And put that to 0 maybe. Can we make it touch the toggle? Not quite. I'm gonna clean composition on it. Yes, that's touching the toggle, right? Because that's 0 dps of spacing. If I do 16 and save. No errors in hot reload, but it sure doesn't change the arrangement. Okay. It's silly how painful this became. Just like not being able to hot reload a padding value, you know?
Some people might say you could just, use a preview.
Yeah, we could. But then I couldn't, wiggle this to get the text.
True.
Exactly as close.
Well, actually, on a desktop preview, you still could.
Okay.
Sorry, nerd pointing up emoji.
Okay, so is this too close with the text and the toggle or not? Should we make it more padding in between? I feel like
I'd be comfortable about it, but let's hear chat.
Okay, so this is. So this is 8 dps. I feel like we should go to 12.
I feel like you can definitely afford 2 more DP.
And obviously,
For
like
sure.
this will rarely happen anyway. Like most of the time, it's gonna look like this
Yeah.
because just text. Let's just put in 12.
Try 12 and leave it.
Yeah, and of course, clean composition. Okay, are we done otherwise, other than me messing around with this like one padding value? Is there anything else interesting that needs to happen? Oh, we need a test where there's no note below it.
Is the
'Cause apparently that
text
can
color
happen.
right? I don't think it is.
I didn't check. Primary
The
text.
bottom, the
Secondary
bottom one.
text. Yeah, it should
Yeah.
be primary and secondary text. I have not specified anything. What's the default? We do not see it. Why do we not see the default value? So the default is primary text. The other one has to be set. So KotlinConf theme, colors, secondary text. Very good catch. And that hot reloads correctly.
What about the toggle size?
That should be completely fixed.
We did hard code the size.
So note. I guess we just make this optional. So we just make it nullable. And then we have to put it after the modifier. And then we only put it in if the note is not null.
Okay.
So is the toggle size off? I could not tell you. So it's supposed to be, well, with padding. Without padding, it's 28 by 16, which is what we have hard-coded in it, right? It's 28 by 16. Toggle width, toggle height. Yeah. Yeah, that's all
It
good.
looks like in the design, yeah.
I'll believe that.
I do agree that I feel like it could be larger, but we are doing like the designers designed.
Yeah. Again, once these are implemented, they are going to be actually very, very easy to iterate on. Like we just need to hash out all of these components so that we can start building screens, and then after that we can mess around with the details a lot. Again, I'm still looking to like polish animations in particular. Oh, that's beautiful, the thing you've set up here.
Right.
That's a lot of fun to play with.
Turning on schedule updates disables the Kodi containment.
Uh-oh. It's one of those trick situations.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, will building screens with these components be streamed? We have no promises on any of this. It might be. I don't know if I'm gonna build the screens or other people are, like on the team are gonna build the screens. There's at least 3 of us working on the app in general. For now, with Seb involved here. So it's gonna be a bunch of us building, you know, multiple bits of it. So definitely not all of the app development is gonna be live streamed. But you know, if I'm building this in the evening anyway, I might turn on the stream and we'll see how that goes. Do you feel like one more component? Like this is I think that the max we can stretch the stream to, but I think we can build one more if
one final component.
I mean 2 technically. We have to build the bottom first and then a big thing out of it.
This is like classic bedtime story negotiation tactics.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, might as well, right? If we're already here.
Okay. So the navigation button component is a 22 by 22 icon.
I feel like we can do it.
That can't be too difficult. It's actually 28 by 28. Yeah, again, this like vector sizing and the containing box and all that. It's very annoying. But anyhow, okay, so that's... I guess we don't create a file for that. We just do main navigation. Oh, we should create a commit. Wait. Hold on. We should create a commit. Let's see what we've changed. We've changed f.kt to mess around with accessibility and in the Android app. I'm gonna revert that. We built this, which seems fine. We built this other thing, which does not seem fine, but if we optimize imports, then we're good. We've added line heights that can go in there. And we have the 2 new entries alphabetically sorted. Excellent. So all of this. And, well, add page menu item and setting. I mean, AI it.
Nice.
Well, hey, that's the actual correct commit message I was gonna type in. Hey.
Sweet. It's past form for whatever reason, which is not what we do in commits, but
But the title is correct. It's just the description.
Yeah.
I'm gonna commit that as is by AI suggestion.
Hey, AI.
That's wonderful.
We need like a button that we can press that like sparkles or something.
Oh, I wanted to do a thing for like follows. I can set up like an overlay thing. Anyhow.
Hell yeah.
Would love to watch some actual app development for KotlinConf app. I mean, eventually we'll get there. So we're building these components. We'll eventually start building screens out of it. And then the app itself is in the shared module, and we have the old stuff there from the previous implementation of the app. I don't know how much of it we're going to rewrite. So we have, the like, I mean, you can see the current DI solutions we have here. It's like const naming HTTP client and just create a static one. So we have some best practices to induce into the app here for sure. Yeah. So we'll probably gonna take this whole thing and do some refactoring across the entire stack eventually. But I don't know if the API on the backend side is staying the same. Of course, that's also in the same repo, so we just have backend, but it depends whether the design requires new models and new data to be seeded. But it's all sessionized backed, so I bet that we are keeping most of the communication layer. Yeah. And then I see you already answered the other question about like Java and Spring Boot.
Yeah, I mean we're obviously slightly biased towards Kotlin here, but Kotlin is great for the backend, whether that's Spring or Kate or whatever. And we're going to be having a bunch of new content around all of this stuff on our YouTube channel as well. So if you are not subscribed at youtube.com/Kotlin.
Yay. We've managed to plug another thing finally. Okay. Where were we? We were gonna build a single icon component. So I was gonna create a main navigation thing because we did the commit. So we're gonna build main navigation. Comp. Main navigation. Prev. Main navigation preview. Love those live templates. Call the other one. Make it internal.
Where's the window?
Here.
Thank you.
Sorry. Again, for those of you who joined us late, the whole thing we're doing here is using hot reload. So we have this ever running JVM app, except when we crash something in it. And it comes with this very cute dev panel, which shows whenever it's recompiling and reloading the live running application. And as we put things in there, for example, if I put a text in here, and I'll have a look at what you're doing. You've put the main navigation preview in there. Huh. I feel like that should be showing up. Oh, wait, I can't drag the thing. What happened? It seems fine. I'm gonna retry failed okay, I'm gonna clean composition. That worked. Okay, so that wasn't a restart, that was just a click on the dev panel, which cleared the composition. And now if I type in hello, then we get hello hot reloaded. I guess I can leave like a couple lines of output here on the bottom of the screen so that we can, oops, so that we can see that happening. And now I broke the output by hitting page down and inputting into the terminal. So now I'm gonna rerun the app just to get rid of that. Wonderful. That's what we're building. Okay. When you use navhost in Android with live edit, you need to restart the app for live edit to take place and show changes. Does this happen with this too? Okay, so the thing is, wait, actually we should think about navigation a bit here. So eventually, this component that we're building should be hooked up to Compose navigation.
Sure. Would you like to do the preview with like, you know, a nav host and everything?
Well, I want to make sure that what we create as a component is easy to connect to Compose navigation. But I don't know how Material does this. I guess in Material this is a navigation rail. That sounds roughly like it.
I know on iOS it's called a tab bar. I know this doesn't help.
That's good. That's good for us, yeah. What do we need to be able to call this?
Actually, I'm just gonna look into the Compose Cupertino implementation.
Wait, this has no required. Oh, the content is required. Okay, fair. What does a navigation rail look like? Like that. Okay, is this like its own weird DSL? Like it has done like a navigation rail item selected true, and then probably callbacks or something. On click and then like content. Okay, let's look at it. Selected, on click, and an icon composable. Oh right. Okay, so it has to be positional. I can put it outside of the thing. Okay, and then I can have multiple ones. Oh, navigation rail is the vertical one. So that's not it. It's navigation bar.
Of course.
Obviously.
As we all know, rails go up and down.
Yes. Yeah. So this would be an icon of some sort. I'm just gonna do material here for a second. Email, perfect. Content description missing. So this is what it's supposed to look like, right? And then
sure,
whichever one isn't selected does this. Okay, so that's
nice
like
little
material.
animation.
That's the material looking. Oh, it animated in and out.
It did.
Oh my hot reload. Okay. That's very nice. So this really just has like on clicks, but does it? Oh, it's still the rail item. Yes, sorry. Thank you. So is it navigation bar item? Yes. Oh, there's also navigation drawers if we want to keep going. Ah, yes, that looks a lot more correct. And now it spaces evenly as well. If I get the whole window in here. And I can like click on them. So is there no deeper integration with navhost than this? Is what I'm wondering. Like do we really just get like on click and then we channel that into a navhost manually? Compose navbar navigation. Like I feel like there must be like convenience APIs for this. to like connect yeah, integration with bottom navbar. Top level routes. Oh, that's a lot of code. Oh, I mean, sure. You can just put all your routes in a list. Yeah. And then just for loop and spit out the items and then on click just navigate. So there's no integration. You just do
And
it manually.
selected is just current navigation hierarchy. Any has route. Okay. I love that. I love that selected.
Yeah,
query.
because nested things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Well, then we don't need to worry about anything. There's no better way to
That's
do it
very-
than just completely
it's
manually.
very true.
The thing we do have to care about is whether we want to have the bar and the items separate. But I don't think we do. I don't think we care about this. We just hardcode this.
I don't see why we would.
Okay, so it's gonna be main navigation and main navigation button for a smaller component. So we're gonna have main navigation button, which is gonna be an icon. And once again, I'm gonna look at something we've already done that contains an icon, like this one. Or what did we just do? We just did the settings item that had an icon. No, not the settings item.
The page menu item?
Yep. Got it. And the icon here is going to be, well, customizable. So we're going to call it icon resource. Create parameter, flip, comma. Let's do a bit of formatting. Icon resource tint. Let's check the tint first. So there's two kinds. There's selected and not selected. And we can animate between them. And I'm sure we've done that. I guess we haven't. Oh, icon color seems fine. Again, we're just copy pasting a lot because we're doing a lot of the same patterns here. So, oh, are you currently typing?
I am. If it's just you're taking a drawable resource, not a painter here, right? Or you're taking a drawable?
Drawable resource.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Import KotlinConf theme, import the get value thing. Okay, and then so colors. If it's not selected, then it's secondary text, otherwise primary text. So if it's wait, primary text and secondary text, primary text, otherwise again secondary text. That's the icon color, and we're gonna use that here. And that's what that looks like. Seems fine. Sizing is 24. Yeah, so see now it would matter that we have to pass in a 24 variant to be correct, which is annoying. But again, we'll review that later. We've already discussed that. Okay. I think that's a button. And then the question is whether we can create a nice API for the main navigation. So like, it has to have... Should we just make it generic? Like give it like a sealed type as a parameter?
I'm not sure I entirely follow what
So
you're...
it will have to have like a current destination,
Sure.
and then an on, and then I don't know, like a list of destinations.
Okay.
But like, what's this
And then...
object's type?
Yeah, I guess listed T, no? Like, these are just...
But we also need
guess
some.
that-
We also need the icons themselves as the actual icon type. So that part matters. So maybe we just...
So your destinations is a list of pairs or a map
I'm thinking
or-
this is just a class.
or that.
Like I'm thinking this just has to be like, it has a name, it has an icon, which is...
Are we not doing type safe navigation? Oh, sorry, you mean the name for a label?
Yeah, it's not gonna have a label, but it has to have one for accessibility.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Like we're not gonna display one, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, the route can be generic.
Yeah.
And
Nice upper bound.
Thank you. It's my favorite upper bound. Probably. So is this gonna get very complicated? Oh yeah. So we have a I mean, we'll reevaluate this here in like 5 seconds, I'm sure, but we have to get started somewhere. Oh, we have a long thing in the chat. Are you reading it?
Sorry, I was just staring at this, trying to figure out what the common super type of this would even be. I'm starting to get tired. Let's see what's going on over here. Manages use sprints as a tool for excessive control. Struggle with working under pressure in sprints. Because of this, I'm considering changing to a position where I wouldn't have to work in sprints. What advice could you give? I don't have a particularly... I don't think I'm in the right position to give advice here.
Yeah, I think the thing you have to dig into is the managers use sprints as a tool for excessive control and apply pressure. That seems like the problem area. Yeah. Okay, so main navigation. What does this look like? It's this big thing where I guess everything is just spaced equally by some definition. That's going to be one of the interesting horizontal spacing modifiers. So it's just like weight 1, but also, we don't want them to be pushed to the edges. So that there's an arrangement for that, I am sure. So the whole thing is a row, and the arrangement is space evenly. Maybe we'll see how that works. Maybe we can just put each of them in a box if needed. That's fine. And then in there, we're gonna have a bunch of a bunch of main navigation buttons, which actually should be a private component. And we're just gonna go through destinations, and then we're gonna go for each. Doesn't have to be indexed necessarily. Icon resource is gonna be it.icon. Selected is gonna be it, whether it's the current one.
All right, let me do your thing.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I don't know if we can get this up and running already, but we're gonna do a main nav destination. It's gonna be, I don't know, screen 1. Drawables. Let's do the clock again. Current route is gonna be, I don't know.
Oh,
I
you just want to do a
guess-
string? Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Is my math not mathing? Oh, sorry. I messed up where the list goes. Right. So that's gonna be a string. Then I need the okay. Let's do name parameters so that I get less confused about it. So destinations is gonna be exactly the same thing as one item. Okay, it's a data class, so comparisons should be fine. And then unselected is what we're gonna ignore. And if we save this and hot reload, it's a button. And if we create a bunch more of them and we give them wonderful custom routes, then only one of them is selected. Let's select the one that's called 2. Wait, that doesn't work. Oh, yeah. There. Okay, that's a navigation rail. It accepts a modifier. Let's make sure we apply the modifier. And also fill max width by default. I think that's correct. I think other than the preview spacing that's around it as padding, I think this is correct. What are you thinking? Were you looking at the spacing as well?
That looks about, yeah. Well, that looks about right.
So if we if we didn't have spacing on the preview. Oh, I guess it's an arrangement again, so I have to do a clear. They're still padding from somewhere. No? Yeah, there definitely is. Like, this isn't half of that. So maybe space evenly, isn't it? If only there was a nice visual thing for this.
Ooh.
I mean, it's just equal weight. It's just equal weight.
Yup.
So we just put a weight on each of them. All right then. This takes some oh, it actually applies the modifier. That's good. Yep.
That looks better.
That was easy. And spacing we can remove. It's not going to do a thing. Okay. And then whenever one of these is clicked, where do I put the preview? I guess down here. That's actually good. Oh, we just don't have clickability yet. Yes, on click. And that's gonna be a parameter up here. Route. I promise to give back the entire object. That also works. We need to create some state so that we can test this.
Sure. That seems reasonable enough.
Inlay hints are blinking.
Yeah, we saw that a couple of times earlier.
Yeah, it's especially with collab if we're both editing. That does happen.
Oh, that's one hell of an autocomplete. We'll see if that one looks roughly right. It should be. Could you do me an import?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Are imports just broken on the specific version
Just on
we're
the collab. I don't know. It's just I can't do it as a collaborator right now.
There's also no import for
statement.
this. There's something fishy here. For the record, this is pre-preview fleet. For anyone wondering. Do we need this big type thing here? How is this broken?
Did you import mutable state off? Thank you.
No, I did. I just wasn't finding where the missing import was.
And then on selected, I guess, we get the current destination equals it. Make the savar. I can't invoke that either, unfortunately. Var.
Set value.
Okay.
And I mean, in theory, yeah, that works immediately. The click indication isn't very nice. How did I do this for the switcher? I didn't do anything special for that one. Because it just kind of like aggressively blinks. Like a ripple would be very nice. I could have sworn that I've added a ripple at least. We also need to round this or something because, you know.
Mm-hmm. It is looking a little rectangular.
Yeah, like maybe like 8 dps of corner rounding, I want to say. Yep.
That looks
That's
better.
better. That's friendlier. I want to do a ripple on it.
Why is it that you don't get a ripple out of the box?
Well, with material stuff, you would get a ripple.
Okay.
But here, like this clickable is just foundation clickable. Actually, isn't?
But aren't you on a? Okay.
It is one of these
I could have sworn that but I see a lot of I see a lot of ripple effects where I don't even want them. That's just what surprises me.
I've accidentally rerun the app.
Force a habit.
Yeah.
Could have sworn I just get.
Again, if we took like a material button, I have so many windows crammed in this space. Is this materials button? Yeah. So this would have clickety-click things that... No, I guess that's quite complicated to dive through. Ah, that's what it does. Yeah, it just does clickable and then it provides it. So I guess clickable is always actually foundation, and you're just getting the indication.
Could you do me a favor and click on that box that I added? Sorry, above. Does that also not have a ripple for you now?
No, it's just... Oh, you know... Oh. I figured it out. So on... What do we have on the other toggle? Can you add the toggle preview to the gallery?
Of course. 2 seconds. Here it is.
So is that rippling? I don't think it is.
It doesn't look like it.
So I bet what happens is if we material theme this.
That's rippling.
Yeah. So material theme is providing local indication.
A local indication. Okay. Yeah.
Current. And I mean, there's no reason why we can't do that with KotlinConf theme, I think. Right?
Not gonna start the argument about what that's gonna look like on iOS.
Well, do start it. It's supposed to look good. We can customize it here per platform if you want.
Yeah, I think the ripple effect looks a little foreign on iOS. That's all. I think on Android that's a different story, but on iOS I'm always like, it does look very material reminiscent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We can like right here customize it if we need to.
Yeah. I mean, this does look nicer in this specific scenario. I feel like maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it could use a little extra like breathing room around the actual icon. Like
as in
vertically speaking?
Oh yeah, we did none of that. So in here
I prefer no ripple for bottom bars, but that looks acceptable.
We have 10
I think I think at some point I just have to see it on a phone as well. We've been looking at a hyper blown up version of it for so long. Will the hot reload work on Android Studio /IntelliJ? The version that we're using right now is just a Gradle plugin, so that's independent of the.
Yeah, you can run the like desktop app JVM main function from IntelliJ for sure. In Android Studio, it usually stumbles on itself, like it. I know that it often has problems running the like desktop JVM app. Like it forgets to build it and then it goes like class file not found because it expects an Android build every time. So that's the padding on it with 10 dps. Is there anything else?
The bottom height.
That thing down there?
Yes.
I don't think I think that's just so that it looks correct in the design. Like that's just
okay.
System Chrome.
All right.
So that's 24 DPs. We've put padding on this. We've spaced them out. I mean, that's really all there is to it, right? Oh, we put the clickable thing in the wrong place. Because I've padded each item here instead of including the padding inside the item. So pad inside the item. Not like that. More like that. Look.
Stunning.
Big button. Is there spacing on this row? Like should there be a gap between them here? Probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the design includes that, because the design just has, a lot of padding there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't take the ripple into account, but we can put a bit of padding in there in between. And it should look identical except for the rippling. So we can go to the main navigation, and this row can have a horizontal arrangement. Arrangement spaced by 8 DPs, and then this one is not gonna hot reload again, right? Oh no, it does.
Nice.
But I think it actually does move a bit. Yeah, it pushes things outwards. So we also need to add padding to it. Like 4 DPs of padding to compensate. I think that's correct, logically.
I enjoy the aesthetic of it for sure.
That's changing state, and then we have the generic thing so that we can have type navigation. Yeah, I think we did that. I think this is correct.
Nice.
This is public. That's internal. Yes, that's public because it has to be. Yes. Yeah, we can probably like fix the naming up a bit, things like that. Just tiny fixes. But in general, that's a working component. Oh, you're adding things back up already? Back in already?
Well, I intentionally kept the stuff that would push it from the screen.
Beautiful. Okay, I think that's the navrail. Oh, I need to update these in the GitHub project.
It's not a rail, it's a bar.
Oh my. 2 somethings walk into a rail.
Honestly, I feel like that's the setup for a good joke. I know I like the image of someone, just like a beam, like a cross beam type thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
I gotta workshop that one.
So what did we create here? We did main navigation, so I will have to turn that into an issue. We did toggle, we did button.
Yep.
I'm gonna need to cheat here.
We did the
button,
settings
toggle,
item.
page menu item, settings item. Those are all in progress. Ideally, you would take things off a board before you implement them. But what are the chances that someone else is working at the same time as us streaming?
Right.
In before merge conflict. Yeah. Wait, there's a page title component? Is that something super simple? Page. Okay, it's not super simple. It's this one.
No, that's far from it.
But that looks very fun to implement, though. Little lightning icon. Okay, we should wrap up, though, because it got very late. We've been at this for several hours, so we're going to do one more commit.
Almost 4 hours. Pretty cool.
I've added a random team import. Very good. Added that. Okay, so
imagine how many restarts we saved just by using hot reload.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's the main navigation component. We can actually push this to components 5 so that people can immediately look at the code if they want to. And yeah, I think that's it. We'll see when we continue this and in what shape or form. I guess I'm likely to live stream this even if I'm coding it alone next time. This stream would have been 20 minutes longer without hot reload. I mean, at the very least.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. More
Yeah.
stream is good, but also time wasted is not.
Exactly. Okay, so what do we need to still talk about? Again, this is the KotlinConf app. Don't miss out on KotlinConf next year. Grab your tickets, grab your workshop tickets. Apply to be a speaker if you're into that and you have a cool Kotlin topic to share with the community. We very much look forward to finding more people. Follow Seb and I on social things. Most prominently, most recently, Blue Sky seems to be where the vibes are. So definitely follow us there. The hot reload thing that we were looking at, just to show that once more, is this one. So it's the experimental compose hot reload plugin. You can grab this repository. You can check out the sample project in there. It's doing something very similar to what we have been doing. It just has like a existing basic project with a bunch of state in it. And of course, again, you can grab the KotlinConf app as well from the GitHub. You just go to the 2025 branch in there. And then just once more for Compose Hot Reload.
For quite some time.
Not gonna play that before we get copyright striked. So you can.
I Seb.
Yeah, by YouTube automatically detecting it's a YouTube video. I don't know. So if you want to learn about where this comes from, you can also see other Seb demonstrating this, and he's the person actually writing the plugin.
Leaks.
Accidentally hit play again. Okay. Okay. I've just
if you're the kind of person who spends their evenings watching Kotlin streams, you might also be the kind of person who enjoys talking about Kotlin. If that's the case, the call for proposals for KotlinConf 2025 is still open. So we very much encourage you to submit. And it's important maybe also to note that for speakers who give full sessions, we cover both travel and accommodation. And you, of course, get to go into KotlinConf for free if you get accepted here as well. So if that's something for you, yeah, if that's something that sounds interesting to you, we encourage you to consider taking a look and submitting. It's only a couple of days left, so now is the perfect time to do it. And of course, if you don't want to talk yourself, there's still plenty of things happening at KotlinConf. So make sure you also get your tickets, potentially get your workshops. Those tend to sell out. So if you're interested in anything related to related to stuff that we did today, related to coroutines, related to something else entirely, there's plenty of things happening at KotlinConf. So check those out. Grab your tickets while they're still available. It's going to be the place to be as Compose multi-platform enthusiasts, Kotlin enthusiasts, all of those things.
I've just realized that I'm leaking that. Oh, Martin, this seems to be your event on the CFP page.
Look at that.
What internal fun that is.
Incredibly leaked.
Speaking of internal fun.
Okay, buddy. All right, you're...
I feel like it's time to sign off, probably.
Most likely.
Yeah. Again, thanks everyone for joining us for this Compose Hot Reload KotlinConf app coding adventure. No promises on regular streams or additional streams or on any future updates whatsoever, but the app will be developed. So you will see commits from me in the repo at the very least. And ideally, I'll hop on to stream it as well, because it doesn't seem like too much effort to do that. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. Hey, thanks for having me today as your guest. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, we arranged this, what, like 30 minutes before the stream? Or like an hour
Something
before
like
the
that.
stream, maybe?
Oh.
So yeah, thanks for hopping on. I think it was a pleasant surprise for everyone.
That was really cool.
And it was
I
a
like
lot less
Compose.
lonely.
I like Compose Hot Reload. I gotta say, I'm kind. We're getting onto something here. I'm liking where this is going. Excited to see where it's going next. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, and good night also from my side. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.